World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4881, The Source of the Demon. Chen Shang also thought that Charming Heavenly Demon would resist such a thing. If he hadn't had the will to look at Charming Heavenly Demon and answer, he would have thought that she was lying. Sister Mei, why are you willing to help Guo Lingshe cultivate his soul? You shouldn't use it for any impure purpose, right? Chen Shang pouted. I remember that you and her had a holiday. That was in the past. Now, I have found a new goal. After I come to the world-defying universe, I want to be a new person. Meidian Yao smiled and said, cultivating my fate here is equivalent to rebirth. If you really think so, that's not bad. Chen Shang smiled and said, since you regard the world-proud universe as your new home, you must protect the world-proud universe. And your strength is not weak, and there are enemies who invade the world-proud universe. When you are in the universe, you have to rush to the front. HMPH, I just came to the world-defying universe, do I have to shoulder such a heavy responsibility? Meidian Yao stuck out his tongue, if facing a powerful enemy, I wouldn't dare to rush. If I can't beat it, what's the use of rushing ahead? I know, if Xuanzu comes, there's really no need to rush ahead, because there is only one dead end, right? Chen Shang said with a wry smile, I don't know when Xuanzu will come. World-proud universe itself is still very strong in protecting space. Xuanzu is a transcendent existence, and it is not so easy to enter the world-proud universe. Charming Tianyao said, but before Xuanzu came, the biggest trouble was still the Lord of Ghost Abyss. This scumbag will definitely come to investigate the situation of the world-defying universe. At this time, the Six Paths Divine Mirror gradually became larger, and then flew to a star. The Divine Mirror of Six Paths shoots a beam of light towards a star that emits purple light. In the blink of an eye, space ripples around the star, then disappears and is taken away by the Divine Mirror of Six Paths. It's amazing. After Meidian Yao saw it, he exclaimed, Chen Shang, do you still have this kind of thing? I want it too. Could it be that Yishan doesn't have a space artifact that can carry stars? Chen Shang wondered. Yes, but it's not as good as you. Although Meidian Yao didn't know the specific situation of the Six Paths Divine Mirror, but with her powerful soul perception, she was sure that the Six Paths Divine Mirror was a very powerful thing. This is the Divine Mirror of Six Paths, I only have one, and it took many years to refine it. It has always been by my side, and it has become stronger with me. It's not that powerful all of a sudden. Chen Shang spread his hands and said, so there is no second one. Okay. Mei Tianyao touched the Divine Mirror of Six Paths under her seat with an envious face, and then sighed with regret, seeing that she really wanted it. The Divine Mirror of Six Paths collects the stars very quickly, even the distant stars will be charged after being locked by the Divine Mirror of Six Paths. There are many giant stars hidden in this universe in Wanzhou Mountain. The Divine Mirror of Six Paths is not collected casually, but is carefully selected by Sister Xiaojing, who specially selects those very good stars. The collected stars went directly into the world-defying cosmos map, and did not occupy the space inside the Six Paths Divine Mirror, so Chen Shang was not worried that the Six Paths Divine Mirror would not be able to accommodate it. In fact, the space inside the Divine Mirror of Six Paths is already very large. Sister Xiaojing estimated that there are several star fields as large. Chen Shang was surprised when he learned that the inner space of the Divine Mirror of Six Paths was so huge. However, Little Mirror said that it was normal. After all, the Six Paths Divine Mirror has already experienced a lot, and it has been integrated with the Six Paths of Life and Soul. It has been growing for many years, and has absorbed a lot of energy. It is normal to grow to this point. In just a short period of time, the Six Paths Divine Mirror collected hundreds of stars. The charming heavenly demon on the Six Paths Divine Mirror is still counting the number of stars collected by the Six Paths Divine Mirror. More than 600, Chen Shang, how many stars do you want? Meidian Yao could also see that the stars collected by the Six Paths Mirror were of very high quality. I don't know. Chen Shang is also not sure. How much he charges, mainly depends on little sister Xiaojing. Okay, but if you continue like this, it will be a matter of time before you will be discovered. Charming Tianyao said, when the powerful stars in this universe gradually decrease, the energy density of the entire universe will decrease, and it will definitely be discovered. I know, so when it's almost time, I'll stop. Chen Shang also told Sister Xiaojing about this, and she said that there would be a sense of proportion. Sister Jing, have you discovered the ancestral source of creation? Chen Shang asked. When he entered Wanzhou Mountain, he mainly wanted to find out if there was a powerful ancestral source hidden in it. The ancestral source of creation is very important. It can be used to refine the arrogant Taoist species. It can also be obtained from the ancestral source of the ancestral source and used to cultivate the soul of the ancestral source. Chen Shang also didn't know what the primordial spirit of Fate Cell was. After all, no one had cultivated it yet. After Yinghuang has survived the fate calamity, he needs to absorb the ancestral fate in order to cultivate the soul of fate. Sister Xiaojing did not perceive the existence of the ancestral source of creation, and she was also very puzzled why the ancestral source of creation in Wanzhou Mountain was so rare. Wanzhou Mountain is also a different universe, and it is also an old-fashioned universe with a deep background, but there is almost no ancestral source of creation. You must know that there have been a large number of ancestral sources of creation before the world-defying universe. Brother, it may be that I can't perceive the ancestral source of creation here. Because this Wanzhou Mountain is not the world-defying universe. Maybe the ancestral source of creation here is hidden based on the laws of Wanzhou Mountain. No, the law of Wanzhoushan's operation should be based on the law of another heaven, so the ancestral source of creation may be hidden from being discovered. Chen Shang was silent for a while, then looked at the charming heavenly demon beside him. Mei Tianyao delicate jade-white melon face, the more he looks, the better it looks. When Chen Shang first saw it before, he thought that although it was beautiful, it was just like that. However, after watching it for a long time, he felt more and more pleasing to the eye, and there was always an indescribable sense of innocence, and this was the most difficult thing for Chen Shang to understand. Charming Tianyao obviously has a very wild and charming soul, but her appearance looks cute and charming, and she has a bit of innocence. What are you looking at? Mei Tianyao saw that Chen Shang was staring at his face suddenly. His little mouth twitched slightly, then gave Chen Shang a blank look, and snorted, Chen Shang, I warn you, don't have anything to do with me. I don't think so. When I was possessed by Guoling Shay before, because it wasn't my body, I was more open to it, but now it's my own body, and I'm also very clean. What are you thinking? Chen Shang laughed and said, Sister Mei, I want to ask you a favor. Your soul is so powerful, I don't know if you can find the ancestral source of creation in this universe. The ancestral source of creation is very important. Yes, it would be nice if there was one here. Let's say it earlier. I'll give it a try. Mei Tianyao immediately closed his eyes and released his soul power to investigate. Chen Shang, who was beside her, immediately sensed a very strong vibration of the soul coming. This was the charming heavenly monster doing his work. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4882, Alien Demon Ancestor. Chen Shang looked at this charming and pretty person, his pupils could not help shrinking, he found that he was still too slack. He hadn't been much on guard against the charming heavenly demon before, thinking that the charming heavenly demon was not a big threat to him, but now that he felt the powerful soul power of the charming heavenly demon, he suddenly felt that if she used her soul to attack, it would be difficult to resist. Charming Tianyao noticed that Chen Shang was staring at her, and snorted again, Are you looking at me and thinking about something? You little bastard, when I possessed Guoling Shay before, I didn't see you being so interested. In fact, Mei Tianyao is somewhat proud, because Guoling Shay failed to make Chen Zhang's heart, and his appearance made Chen Shang a little infatuated, and for her, it was a more gratifying thing. I didn't think about it, I just think that Sister Mei, your soul is really powerful. If you want to attack me, then I may not be able to stop it. Chen Shang expressed his inner thoughts. So you're thinking about this? Mei Tianyao's pretty face was slightly displeased, she gave Chen Shang a light glance, snorted, and said, I wanted you to do it, you already did it. You don't have to worry. In fact, Mei Tianyao has no idea in her heart. She doesn't know what kind of strength Chen Shang is hiding. After all, Chen Shang can kill even the Dark Ancestor. Sister Mei, have you found the ancestral source of creation? Chen Shang changed the topic. After all, he didn't want to have any conflict with the charming heavenly demon now. Not yet, but there must be some here. Mei Tianyao said, the ancestral source of creation hidden here. I don't know which parent source it is. The three ancestors all have their mothers, do you think they came from the mothers of Yaozu? Chen Shang asked. No, first of all, you can rule out the source of Yao's grandmother. The ancestral source of creation released by the grandmother of Yao is generally only active in Yishan. Charming Tianyao said. Then only Xuanzu and another ancestor are left. What kind of ancestor is the other one? Chen Shang asked. His name is Longzu, but he is not a dragon. Madian Yao said. I have never been in contact with him, I only know that he is very powerful. Xuanzu, Yaozu and Longzu, who is stronger? Chen Shang asked again, he was more curious about that Longzu now. I don't know, the difference between the strength of the three ancestors should not be too big. Besides, they should have never fought, so I don't know who is stronger and who is weaker. Madian Yao shook his head and said, I don't think so. It may be the origin of Longzu's creation. Then it's only Xuanzu's, Chen Shang said with a smile. Since it's the origin of Xuanzu's creation, let's take it anyway, I've already offended Xuanzu anyway. Chen Shang, in Yishan, although the three ancestors have always ruled together, there is actually a demon ancestor. Charming Tianyao said. This demon ancestor is very mysterious, even the third ancestor does not know his existence. Ah, then why do you know? Chen Shang was surprised. How can you be sure that the third ancestor doesn't know? I've been in contact with Xuanzu and Yaozu, and I haven't asked anything about the demon ancestor from their mouths. Charming Tianyao said. And the reason why I know about the demon ancestor is mainly because I accidentally got the practice created by the ancestors of the demon is called the demon heart heavenly soul art, and this is the reason why my soul is strong. I thought you had a strong soul, and Xuanzu helped you. Chen Shang frowned and said, so it's not. Of course Xuanzu helped me too. The reason why he was willing to help me was mainly because I had mastered the demon heart heavenly soul art. And he didn't know that the demon heart heavenly soul art was created by demon ancestor, so I guess he didn't know the existence of the demon ancestor. Charming Tianyao said. Xuanzu sees my potential and thinks that after my soul is strong enough, it can be possessed by Yaozu, and it can promote Yaozu to cooperate with him to cultivate Yaoshan magic. Sister Mei, to be honest, if you are possessed by Yaozu, are you really willing to cultivate with Xuanzu? Chen Shang suddenly asked. Of course I don't want to. Madian Yao giggled. Actually, I want to use Xuanzu to become stronger, and then find an opportunity to join Yaozu. Chen Shang couldn't help rolling his eyes. Madian Yao really admired Xuanzu. She said that she hated Xuanzu before, it was all nonsense. So, you possessed Guoling Shay before, and you didn't intend to sincerely cooperate with the Lord of Guiyuan to cultivate Yaoshan's divine art. Chen Shang pouted. Of course I won't take advantage of the Lord of Guiyuan. Charming Tianyao smiled charmingly, stuck out his tongue at Chen Shang, and said with a tender smile, however, I want to use Guoling Shui's body to cultivate with you. Bah, bah, Chen Shang waved his hands inside. If he really did that, Guoling Shui would definitely turn his back on him. Speaking of which, how did you get the demon heart heaven soul art? I said I picked it up, do you believe it? Madian Yao replied. I don't believe it. Chen Shang often lied to others and said that his good things were all picked up, so he didn't believe in the charming heavenly demon. You can just think that the demon heart and heavenly soul art was picked up by me. Charming Tianyao said. In short, this practice is perfect, but it consumes more resources. Then, is it possible that the ancestral source of creation here comes from the mother source of the demon ancestor? Chen Shang asked. It's very possible, said Charming Tianyao, because cultivating the heavenly soul art of demon heart requires a lot of celestial bodies, that is, stars. The ancestral source of creation will devour the stars, extract the star cores of the stars, and then transfer the energy to the mother source. Doesn't that mean that the soul of the demon ancestor is even more terrifying? Chen Shang said in horror. Charming Tianyao is a half-hearted cultivator of the demon heart heavenly soul art, and his soul is so powerful, not to mention that mysterious demon ancestor. Yes, therefore, you are very likely to provoke the demon ancestor. Madian Yao whispered. Are you afraid? That's not right. Wanzhou Mountain should belong to the power of Xuanzu. The Lord of Guiyuan had cooperated with Wanzhou Mountain before, but it was only after the Lord of Guiyuan wanted to control Wanzhou Mountain that they fell out. Chen Shang frowned and shook his head. Wanzhoushan is good for Xuanzu, but the ancestors of the ancestors can also come in and steal it. Charming Tianyao said. So, you are very likely to take away the ancestors of the ancestors. Quote. Then don't care, anyway, he will suspect Xuanzu of taking away his ancestral origin. Chen Shang waved his hand and said, now you dare to tell me where the ancestral origin of creation is. Chen Shang, there are two origins of creation in this small universe. I guess, one is from the source of Zan grandmother, and the other is from the source of demon grandmother. Madian Yao whispered, are you sure you want to take it away? Sister Mei, didn't I say before that there is a way to help you strengthen your body quickly? Chen Shang laughed heehily. This way. I really need the ancestral source of creation. Okay, then let's go. I'll take you to the two ancestors of creation. Seeing that the demon was in his favor, he was no longer afraid of the demon ancestor Xuanzu. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4883, Xuanzu Disciple. Charming Tianyao believed that Chen Shang mastered some kind of secret technique. After all, she had personally experienced that Chen Shang took her and Guo Lingshe to rush out of the dark realm. Neither she nor Guo Lingshe could do it, but Chen Shang could easily do it. Arrive. There is also the destruction of the dark ancestors, which is also caused by Chen Shang, so Charming Tianyao thinks that Chen Shang has mastered some kind of powerful secret technique. As soon as she came in, Sister Xiaojing began to get acquainted with the space here, so that the Six Paths mirror could easily perform space jumping and space shifting. If you want to quickly collect the ancestral source of creation, you also need to move the space. It is the fastest way to move the ancestral source of creation into the mirror. Under the guidance of the charming heavenly demon, the Six Paths divine mirror quickly jumped in space and came to a nearby star field. That ancestral source of creation is in the middle of the star field. Charming Tianyao said, Chen Shang, what do you think of this star field? Chen Shang looked at the saucer-shaped star field in front of him. It was composed of many stars and radiated golden light. From a distance, it looked like a golden saucer, flat and flat. Very ordinary, Chen Shang said. In the world-defying universe, there are quite a few star fields of this level. But in this small universe, the best star field is like this. Charming Tianyao said. So the star field of the world-defying universe is much stronger than this small universe. Especially the level of the Tianquan star field. Star territory is very rare even in Yishan. Really, Chen Shang frowned and said, I always thought that the world affair universe was a small universe. After all, the time from the birth of the world-defying universe to the present is still too short. Compared with other universes, it can only be regarded as a baby. This may be the reason why the Lord of Guiyuan wants to occupy the world-defying universe. Because the world-defying universe has the potential to become the second alien heaven. When Madian Yao said this, his face was quite serious. If Aoshi universe can really become the second Yishan, then she has cultivated an Aoshi universe early on, and maybe she will be able to hold a position comparable to Yishan's 3 ancestors and 5 emperors in the future. Mei Tianyao was even more excited, and she was looking forward to the arrival of that day. Because of the restrictions of laws, her cultivation could not be improved to a higher level. If she wanted to achieve a breakthrough, she had to obey others. However, there is no such restriction in Aoshi universe. As long as you devote yourself to hard work and your aptitude is not so bad, you can always break through. The Lord of Guiyuan wants to occupy the world-defying universe, but he doesn't want to see the world-defining universe become the level of a different heaven. Chen Shang said, the Lord of Guiyuan should just plunder the resources of the world-defining universe, and gain more power from it, the power of the dark ancestral source is used to limit the destruction of the world-defying universe. Chen Shang said here, he couldn't help clenching his fists. If he hadn't solved the dark ancestral source in advance, the black maggots inside would most likely have spread. If world-proud Cosmos wants to grow to the level of Yishan, it will definitely threaten Yishan. Charming Tianyao said. Then the 3 ancestors are very likely to join forces, and even the mysterious demon ancestor will make a move. Don't worry about so much, now I can only improve myself first. Chen Shang knew very well that if he had enough power, he would not be afraid even if the 3rd ancestor came. The divine mirror of 6 paths made a space jump again, entered the center of the star field in the shape of a golden butterfly, and came to the vicinity of the ancestral source of creation. In front of Chen Shang and the others, there is a huge golden air mass, which is the location of the ancestral source of creation. Chen Shang, I've been thinking just now, if you and Guo Lingshe work together to cultivate Yaoshan divine art, and get the 2 volumes of Yin and Yang from her, you will definitely become stronger. Madian Yao said, Yaoshan divine art belongs to Yaozu's ancestors. The work of hard work must have something unique. What are you thinking about? Chen Shang was very speechless. If he tried Guo Lingshui's idea of a jade-like girl, the end would be miserable. I can help you get her done. Madian Yao giggled. Didn't she say she wants to learn from me to cultivate her soul? I will possess her body again at that time, and then I will influence her thinking. Don't think blindly, she is from Yao Tianzu. Chen Shang hurriedly squeezed charming Tian Yao's hand, and solemnly warned, If you force her to be our enemy, that's not a good thing. Oh, Madian Yao puffed up her face, pouted her lips, and responded casually. The divine mirror of 6 paths began to grow larger. There are a large number of stars nearby, and it is also the best in this star field. Now, Sister Xiaojing uses the power of the space orb to move all of them into the world-defining universe map inside the divine mirror of 6 paths. Madian Yao also found that the nearby stars of good quality were disappearing one after another, accompanied by strong spatial fluctuations. No wonder you have to come to Wanzhou Mountain because of your ability to devour the stars. If I am a heavenly Jade Realm spirit, I will be anxious for you. Madian Yao said in horror. Of course she also knew that it was the 6-path divine mirror under their feet that was producing power, collecting a large number of stars. I won't take away all the stars, I just want the good ones. Chen Shang grinned and said, if you can go to Yishan, maybe you can get better ones. Sister Xiaojing took away all the good stars near the ancestral source of creation, and then started to work on the ancestral source of creation. It also takes a lot of energy to collect the ancestral source of creation, and she intends to gather the energy of this star field through the 6 paths divine mirror. Although she took away a lot of stars just now, she was reluctant to use the energy of those stars. It's about to start, Chen Shang whispered. Sister Mei, if there is any movement, I hope you can take action immediately, and don't let anyone hinder me from collecting the ancestral source of creation. Got it, Madian Yao nodded and said, good brother, you promised my elder sister that you would help me strengthen my body quickly, don't forget about it. My body has just come out of cultivation, and it is very fragile. Hope to get stronger soon. Don't worry, you take me to collect a few more ancestral sources of creation, this thing will be done soon. Chen Shang is not fooling the charming heavenly demon, after all, he can refine the ancestral source of creation into a world-class Tao seed, and then he will just give one to the charming heavenly demon. Charming Tianyao has a powerful soul. With her around, you can rely on her to obtain more ancestral sources of creation, give her a world-defining Taoist species, and at the same time, you can test how much the world-class Taoist species can improve people on her. The divine mirror of 6 paths is releasing extremely strong spatial power to lock the ancestral source of creation. At this time, both Chen Shang and charming heavenly demon sensed a strong momentum. What's coming? So strong. Chen Shang was surprised. Is it the patron saint of Wanzhou Mountain? It shouldn't be. I feel familiar with this aura, it belongs to Xuanzu's faction. Madian Yao said solemnly. Don't worry, leave it to me. Could it be that this ancestral source of creation came from the source of Zan's grandmother? Chen Shang saw Mei Tianyao suddenly fly out, and hurriedly urged, Sister Mei, you have to be careful. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4884, Heavenly Profound General. Chen Shang can't take himself out to fight now, because the divine mirror of 6 paths has already begun to collect the ancestral source of creation, and although the soul of the charming heaven demon is very powerful, its body has just been cultivated. Protect yourself, I might not be able to take care of you in a while. Mei Tianyao also told Chen Shang, her figure had already flown into the distance. I saw a strong pink light suddenly flashing in the distance. It was the soul power of the charming heaven demon. She had already fought with Xuanzu's disciples. As for what was going on there, it was difficult for Chen Shang to see clearly. That Xuanzu actually sent someone to guard the ancestral source of creation. It seems that there is no one to guard the ancestral source of creation in the world-defying universe. Chen Shang pondered. Brother, the ancestral source of creation of the world-defining universe has its own destiny. It is the inner destiny that protects itself. Sister Xiaojing said. But there is no destiny in the ancestral source of creation here. That's right, there is no way of fate in Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang frowned and said, cultivation of the primordial spirit requires ancestral fate. If these ancestral origins of creation do not have fate, won't they be able to cultivate? It's true, but well, you can bring these ancestral origins back to Aoshi Cosmos, and then cultivate ancestral origins in Aoshi Cosmos to cultivate ancestral origins. Sister Xiaojing laughed and said, brother, why don't you find some good ones? The ancestral source of creation, and then specially used to give birth to the ancestral source. This is a good method, but I don't know if it is difficult to operate. Chen Shang said with a smile, Sister Jing, what do you think of the ancestral origin of creation you are charging now? Very ordinary, Sister Xiaojing said. In Wanzhou Mountain, there must be a better and bigger ancestral source of creation. The better the ancestral source of creation, the better the fate of the ancestral source that is cultivated. Because Sister Xiaojing has seen many powerful ancestral sources of creation, she feels that the ones in front of her are very ordinary. In fact, this ancestral source of creation is quite good. The battle over the charming heavenly demon was getting more and more intense. Because of the strong energy fluctuations, Chen Shang could not see the specific battle process clearly, but he could sense that there were many people besieging the charming heavenly demon. There are actually quite a few disciples of Xuanzu who are responsible for guarding this place, and Chen Shang is also very vigilant now, worried that he will be attacked. His cultivation base is still very low, and the main battle is still relying on the Six Paths Divine Mirror, but the Six Paths Divine Mirror is now collecting the ancestral source of creation. They didn't come here. Chen Shang looked around and said, if a guy comes to attack me, it will be troublesome. Brother, don't worry too much, if someone really comes to attack, I can still block it. Sister Xiaojing said, it's Sister Mei, I'm a little worried about her. The charming heavenly demon was besieged. Although Chen Shang couldn't see how they were fighting, he knew that the charming heavenly demon was struggling. We can only help her by quickly collecting this ancestral source of creation. Chen Shang said. Brother, those guys are all very strong. If there was only one, Sister Mei would have killed them long ago, but there are too many, so Sister Mei is also very difficult. Said Sister Xiaojing. The divine mirror of six paths is gathering energy at the moment, to move the ancestral source of creation into the interior of the divine mirror of six paths in one go. It takes a while to prepare. After all, what was moved is a huge celestial body, and it is still a very powerful ancestral source of creation, so it takes a lot of time to gather energy. Although the divine mirror of six paths has become very large, it has not attacked the ancestral source of creation, and it has also weakened the spatial constraints around it, so that it will be easier to move it. Chen Shang, how's the situation on your side? Are you ready? Charming Tianyao sent a voice transmission to Chen Shang from a distance. The number of these guys is too many, there are dozens in total, and they are not weak, I support it. Not too long. What kind of strength are they? There are only a few dozen, why can't you hold on? From Chen Zhang's point of view, with such a powerful soul, even the Lord of Guiyuan couldn't hold her down, so she shouldn't be so embarrassed. These guys are disciples of profound ancestor Yishan, known as profound heavenly generals. They have grown up in recent years. So I'm not familiar with the various methods of magic they are now. Charming Tianyao said. Chen Shang also probably understood that because the charming heaven demon was sealed for many years, she lacked knowledge of Yishan and the new exercises of Xuanzu's faction. I'll finish it as soon as possible. Chen Shang responded. They don't know that you want to collect the ancestral source of creation, it is only because we are close to the ancestral source of creation, so they approached. Meidian Yao said. They did not find your existence, probably because your cultivation is too high. Low, so they all kept attacking me. Chen Shang was a little surprised, he actually had no sense of existence, because his cultivation was too low, so he was not looked down upon. That's great, Sister Mei, hold on for a while, I'll be fine soon. Chen Shang encouraged. I won't be able to hold on for long, my body is now injured, and I rely on the power of my soul to support me. Meidian Yao was also very anxious. Chen Shang was not communicating with her, lest she be distracted. In this way, relying on his powerful soul and rich combat experience, charming heavenly demon dragged his heavily injured body and fought against the group of profound sky god generals for more than 3 hours. After Sister Xiaojing gathered enough energy, a super strong spatial fluctuation immediately erupted, and then moved the ancestral source of creation into the six-path divine mirror. Because Sister Xiaojing absorbed the world-defying Tao seed before, and the world-defying Tao seed was condensed from the super-strong dark ancestor, so the six paths mirror can now suppress this creation ancestral source. If there is no basis for absorbing the ancestral source of the world before, the six paths divine mirror can't suppress the ancestral source of creation. Okay, Chen Shang sent a voice transmission to the charming heavenly demon. He just wanted to go over to pick up the charming heavenly demon, but found that she flashed over at the fastest speed. Mei Tianyao's petite body is now covered in scars and blood. The divine mirror of six paths quickly became smaller, and then made a space jump to the distance, throwing off the group of profound sky god generals. It's not badly hurt. Chen Shang hurriedly took out some medicinal liquid medicine powder or something, smeared it on her wound, and took out some healing medicinal pills for her to eat. The injured Meidian Yao was very calm and did not see her feel any pain. You can really bear it. Chen Shang smiled and said, you don't seem to be afraid of pain at all. Because when I was fighting, I separated the perception of my soul from my body, so I couldn't feel the pain of my body. When Mei Tianyao was talking, he saw Chen Shang smearing medicinal powder on her body, and he immediately looked disgusted, and continued, are these things of yours useful? My body is not an ordinary body, ordinary medicinal pills have no effect on me. I need the elixir refined by the great alchemy ***** of another heaven to have an effect on me. As soon as she finished speaking, she saw that her wound was healing quickly. Is this useful? Chen Shang said with a smile. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4885, Alien Danshan. Mei Tianyao also felt that her body's injuries were gradually improving. This speed was very fast for her, and she was also surprised by this. Because she said just now that only the pills refined by the great alchemy god of alien heaven can help her to heal her body quickly. Although the world-defying universe is also a very strong alien universe, in her opinion, it is still in all aspects here not mature enough, especially in the medicine pill. However, the medicinal pill that Chen Shang used for her just now was not bad at all compared to the one refined by the Yishan great alchemy god. Did Guoling Shay give you these pills? Charming Heavenly Demon asked. No, Chen Shang said with a smile. Why do you think she gave it to me? Because there is no such thing as a pill of this level in the world-defying universe. Charming Heavenly Demon said with certainty. Why can't there be? Chen Shang shook his head and smiled. In fact, he didn't know the level of the pills in Yishan. In short, he was very confident in his pill level. Because of the medicinal materials of the world-defying universe and the level of the entire alchemist, it is impossible to refine this kind of medicine pill. Meidian Yao said. Even in Yishan, only the level of the little pill **** can't be refined. Come out. Little alchemy god, great alchemy god. Chen Shang is also a little curious about the things related to the alchemy in Yishan. In Yishan, you can only be respected by becoming a pill god. Of course, this was the case back then, and it must be the same now. Charming Tianyao said. Chen Shang, answer me quickly, who gave your pill? She can feel that Chen Zhang's pills are still fresh, and Guoling Shay has been sealed for so many years. Even if she has pills in her hand, it can't be so fresh, and she also knows that Guoling Shay is not particularly proficient in pill making. If there is a great alchemy god in the world-defying universe, then the charming heavenly demon must find a way to curry favor. I made it. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, to be honest, those pills are not made by me, but made by my puppets, and they are not particularly good pills. Chen Shang also told the truth, but what he didn't know was that there were various medicinal herbs in the divine mirror of 6 paths, all of which were planted by Little Mirror's younger sister, and the primordial beads grew faster over time. Some medicinal materials have grown for tens of millions of years, or even hundreds of millions of years, and have absorbed a large amount of the power of the stars inside the 6 paths divine mirror, so those medicinal materials are not inferior to the divine medicines of other heavens. Aren't you kidding me? Meidian Yao was shocked. It's impossible to refine this level of elixir with your cultivation. Not to mention your puppet. Believe it or not, Chen Shang spread his hands and said, there are still some here, you can eat more. Come back quickly, we have to go to the next Genesis ancestral source. Chen Shang wanted a good ancestral source, and then tried to use that ancestral source to breed a large number of ancestral sources. If there is no good creation ancestor, then he will use multiple small creation ancestors to refine a large creation ancestor. Mei Tianyao originally didn't believe that Chen Shang could concoct pills, but seeing that Chen Shang stuffed her with so many pills, he had to believe it if he didn't. Even the great alchemy **** of Yishan couldn't give her so many medicinal pills so boldly, which means that these medicinal pills are nothing in Chen Zhang's eyes. Chen Shang has refined a lot of medicinal herbs for healing. The main reason is that there are too many medicinal herbs grown by Xiaojing's sister. If they are not refined into pills, the lifespan of those magical medicines will come to an end, so Chen Shang can only refine them. Chen Shang, do you know about medicinal pills? No, I mean, do you know the value of these medicinal pills? Charming Tian Yao was like a treasure, holding the few pots of medicinal pills that Chen Shang gave her, for fear that Chen Shang would go back, but she also didn't put in her storage magic weapon. It's all medicinal pills for healing. Chen Shang said with a smile. Sister Mei, why do I feel like you haven't seen the world, isn't it just some medicinal pills? As for that, You don't understand. If I had so many healing pills back then, I wouldn't have been so miserable. Madian Yao bit his lip and said, in Yishan, even the great alchemy god can't be so easy. Just giving others so many healing medicines. In Yishan, what level is an alchemist who is more powerful than the great alchemy god? Chen Shang was also quite curious and asked with a smile. I don't know, I've never been in contact with that level of alchemy god. Although they call themselves the great alchemy god, they are unfathomable. Madian Yao shook his head and said, Yishan divides alchemy into 3 types. They are little alchemy, great alchemy, and others. Hurry up and collect it. Chen Shang said, take me to the next Genesis ancestral source. When that Genesis ancestral source is taken away, I will give you some medicinal pills as a reward. Charming heavenly demon finally knew where Chen Zhang's powerful ability lies, that is, alchemy. However, she was still curious, why was Chen Zhang's alchemy technique so brilliant? Brother Shen, you said before that you would help my sister to strengthen my body, are you planning to concoct alchemy for me to eat? Madian Yao suddenly became excited, if this is the case, her body can indeed become stronger quickly. No, eating pills to cultivate is still too slow. Chen Shang said. Slow, not slow, at most 100 to 2 million years. Madian Yao said, I have cultivated in Yishan for tens of millions of years before I have a good body. If you can help me with alchemy, it will take 2 million years to recover to the peak of the year. When Chen Shang heard about 1 or 2 million years, he couldn't help rolling his eyes and said with a smile, Sister May, 2 million years, I don't know what the world-defying universe will be like. So this is too slow, I have a faster way to do it. Okay, then I believe in you. As long as you help me restore my strength back then, I'm willing to be your bull and horse. Madian Yao said firmly. This is not necessary. Chen Shang laughed a few times, and said, Sister May, after you become stronger, just help me fight against the Lord of Guiyuan, this guy will be very difficult to kill him, and he will eventually become a very powerful person. Annoying guy, he will definitely try his best to get revenge on me in the future. Don't worry about this. Madian Yao is now full of hope for the future. Not long after, Chen Shang, led by the charming heavenly demon, came to another ancestral source of creation. This ancestral source of creation is relatively small, and the breath is a little different from the previous one. This ancestral source of creation, wouldn't it belong to the ancestor of the devil? Why do I have a very familiar feeling? It's mainly because I practice the magic of the devil's heart and the soul, so I feel this feeling is a bit familiar. Charming Tianyao said. There shouldn't be any profound heavenly generals under Xuanzu's sect here. Chen Shang looked around and said, I don't know if the demon ancestor's subordinates are nearby. My injury has almost recovered. If there are demon ancestors' subordinates, I can hold them back. Charming Tianyao was already full of energy. Seeing her high fighting spirit, Chen Shang nodded secretly in his heart, this is a very qualified fighting tool. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4886, The Fall of the Demon. Chen Shang didn't start collecting the nearby ancestral origin of creation. He first watched the situation on the charming heaven demon's side. If the enemy she faced was not particularly strong, then he could start. If the enemy besieging the charming heavenly demon is powerful, Chen Shang must go to help. Don't look at Madian Yao's energy now, but the body she just cultivated is still very fragile, especially in the face of enemies from other heavens. If she is not careful, her body will be destroyed. After the charming heavenly demon flew over, the enemy did not appear immediately, but it exuded several very cold auras. There were indeed people hiding in this star field, and they were ready to fight at any time. So when the charming heavenly demon went there, he could only suspend in the void, and then looked around. Chen Shang felt that something was wrong, and quickly took out the communication talisman to transmit the sound to the charming heavenly monster in the distance. Sister May, hurry back. It might be their ambush. Chen Shang said. Just when you arrived at that location, dozens of tiny stars began to move. Those stars are far away, you may not have noticed them, but it has formed a formation that traps you in it. Those little stars are not very big, and they move very fast. The area where they are located is near the ancestral source of creation, so the fluctuations generated by the movement of the small stars are covered by the movement of the ancestral source of creation. Therefore, neither Madian Yao nor Chen Shang found out at the first time, he only found out after little sister Xiaojing told Chen Shang. It's fine, I can handle it. Madian Yao felt that it was not a big problem, after all, she had a powerful soul. Sister May, with your current soul, the consciousness released must be very strong, you can't even find those little stars moving, presumably they have some hidden secrets. Chen Shang said. You better hurry back. Someone is nearby. Meidian Yao said to Chen Shang with a communication talisman. Brother Shen, you should also pay attention to yourself, I will fight with those guys first. As soon as she put away the communication talisman, several rays of light flew out from all directions, which caught the Meidian Yao by surprise, because it was not a human being who flew over to attack her, but a very powerful flying sword. A flying sword flickering with strong light, containing extremely terrifying divine power, oscillated the space and flew over. If the Meidian Yao hadn't had a strong sense of consciousness, she would not be able to judge the trajectory of the flying sword at all, and she would definitely be torn apart by dozens of flying swords. When the flying swords flew over, Meidian Yao, relying on his powerful divine sense, found the gaps for dodging among dozens of flying swords, and then cleverly avoided the attack of the flying swords through the ghostly movement. Seeing these flying swords, Chen Shang immediately thought of a person, Wang Qingshan from another heaven. Wang Qingshan is a very strong immortal cultivator, and he is also very good at using flying swords. He is also the patriarch of Yishan Qingshan sword sect. Seeing such superb flying swordsmanship, Chen Shang very much doubted that this group of people most likely came from the Qingshan sword sect in a different sky. Meidian Yao can't even see a human figure now, she is very embarrassed to resist those flying swords, let alone find the person who controls the flying swords. After all, Meidian Yao is also an old fox, and she has experienced hundreds of battles. Facing this kind of offensive, she immediately summoned a pink umbrella. After the pink umbrella was opened, it flashed a dazzling pink light, and it also turned into a pink umbrella-shaped shield to resist the attacks of flying swords from all directions. Sister May still has 2 brushes. Seeing that Meidian Yao was a little more relaxed, Chen Shang took out the communication talisman and said, Sister May, do you need me to help? No need for the time being. Meidian Yao said, these guys are immortal cultivators. I never thought that this kind of guy hasn't gone extinct yet. Sister May, do you know immortal cultivators? Chen Shang was a little surprised. Since Meidian Yao had heard of it, it meant that immortal cultivators had existed in Yishan for many years. Of course I know that when I was in Yishan, I dealt with them. And this group of cultivators always have trouble with us fairies. Meidian Yao said. They also have a special method for fairies. There are quite a few of them, it's quite difficult for you to face them alone, let me help you. Chen Shang said. No, although there are many of them, they don't dare to approach me. Meidian Yao said. I know these guys very well, they can't use the flying sword technique for a long time, because it consumes a lot of consciousness. I see, Chen Shang said. Then I'll wait and see, if you really can't, I'll take another shot. Charming Tianya was also worried that Chen Zhang's participation would make it inconvenient for her to act, because some of her tricks could not be performed by anyone nearby. Chen Shang also didn't know what was the relationship between this group and Wang Qingshan. If they really came from Qingshan sword sect, and they were destroyed, what would happen to Wang Qingshan? I didn't expect that after so many years, I would still encounter a living alien monster. Suddenly a voice came from a distance. The alien demon in this mouth is obviously the charming demon. Old Taoist priest, what sect do you belong to? Meidian Yao shouted, you guys are too shallow to suppress me. Rampant demon, what's your purpose here? The old Taoist asked. Is this ancestral source of creation yours? I don't think it is yours, so I am near this ancestral source of creation, am I in your way? Charming Tianyao sneered. This ancestral source of creation is an unknown thing. We came here first, and that's ours, said the old Taoist priest. Chen Shang and Meidian Yao were a little surprised, because they all guessed that the ancestor of creation was the ancestor of the devil, and Charming Tianyao really sensed the aura related to the ancestor, but now it was a group of cultivators who jumped out. This ancestral source of creation is the ancestor of the devil. Meidian Yao snorted. You frogs at the bottom of the well, you must have never heard of the existence of the ancestor. Don't look down on others, of course we know the existence of the demon ancestor. But the demon ancestor has fallen. The old Taoist laughed. It seems that you are an old demon who has been suppressed and sealed for many years, and you don't know about the alien demon. The fall of the ancestors, ha ha ha. Meidian Yao was shocked, she really didn't know, and she also thought that the demon ancestor should be immortal, why did he fall? After the demon ancestor fell, his ancestral origins were all unknown. The old Taoist said again. Since it's an unknown thing, then whoever has the ability to take it will be the one. Isn't it? Madian Yao said, have you been here for many years? But you haven't been able to take away the ancestral source of creation. God demon, have you been sealed and your brain is broken? How can you get the ancestral source of creation? We are not the three ancestors. The old Taoist sneered. You are a very ignorant demon, since you now that you know the rules, then obediently back down. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4887, Take the Ancestral Source. Chen Shang only felt that these celestial monsters did not live well in Yishan back then, and they were actually looked down upon by others. The tone of the old Taoist priest was full of contempt for the heavenly demon. Charming Tianyao was also very angry when she heard it. She snorted coldly, and the flying swords flying around her were suddenly hit by a red light wave. It was a wave of the soul power released by the charming heavenly monster. It was indeed very powerful. Chen Shang felt very uncomfortable even from a distance, not to mention the immortal cultivators who were close to her. Controlling flying swords requires the power of divine consciousness released by the soul. The sudden burst of soul power of Madian Yao actually controlled all the flying swords, and the group of immortal cultivators lost their voices. Now it's the turn of the charming heavenly demon to control the flying sword. What made Chen Shang scream in shock was that those dozens of flying swords flew towards him. Brother Shen, hurry up and catch these flying swords. You can take them away, right? Madian Yao hurriedly sent a voice transmission to Chen Zhang's soul and said, those old Taoist priests are now unconscious, when they recover, they will be able to take control of these flying swords again. Chen Shang immediately informed Sister Xiaojing. The divine mirror of 6 paths began to swirl, and then the 6 paths Taiji formation was cast, which could be used to pull the flying sword around the divine mirror of 6 paths, and then take it away. The flying sword controlled by the charming heavenly demon flew over. It was very fast and powerful, and it carried the power of the group of immortal cultivators inside. Although the immortal cultivators are now unable to control it, the charming heavenly demon is very rigid in controlling the flying sword, and Sister Xiaojing can only use the 6 Taiji formations. Soon, Feijian was all collected into the 6 paths divine mirror, and was sealed in a space by Sister Xiaojing. Damn demon, you are so sinful, we must kill you today. The old Taoist roared angrily, but he didn't dare to show his face, and he was worried that he would be killed by the charming heavenly demon. What kind of sect do you belong to? I, charming heavenly demon, don't kill nameless people. Charming heavenly demon said in a cold, arrogant and powerful tone, we heavenly demon are in Yishan, and we have always had no grievances with you immortal cultivators. The water does not invade the river, but you have been chasing us for hundreds of millions of years. I must destroy an alien cultivator sect, and come to raise the power of my demon. Chen Shang did not expect that the heavenly demon and the immortal cultivator would have such a deep hatred. He secretly guessed that it was most likely that the third ancestor or the 5 emperors were behind the scenes. After all, immortal cultivators resisted the forces of the 3 ancestors and 5 emperors. You celestial beasts shouldn't have turned into humans. Your transformation into human form is an act against the sky, and we are just doing things for the sky. The old Taoist shouted. HMPH, when we are not human, you kill us endlessly. Madian Yao said coldly, you bastard, report to the sect. If I can't destroy you today, I will destroy your sect. Door. At this time, Chen Shang controlled the divine mirror of 6 paths and flew over. The charming heavenly demon sent a voice transmission to Chen Shang, telling him to leave quickly, because she was going to fight later. Chen Shang also knew that those immortal cultivators had certain strength, and they were hiding in the dark. If they didn't get rid of the immortal cultivators quickly, the profound sky god from Xuanzu's side would be coming. When the 2 sides join forces, they will not be able to take this ancestral source of creation. Chen Shang ignored the charming heavenly demon, continued flying over, and said in a slow tone, everyone must be disciples of the Qingshan sword sect, right? I have a lot of friendship with your founder Wang Qingshan, the one you used just now. Qingshan swordsmanship is still a lot worse than immortal Qingshan, although it is far inferior to him, but I can still see that it is Qingshan swordsmanship. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, the group of immortal cultivators were moved. They didn't want to reveal their sect, and they also deliberately concealed Qingshan swordsmanship, but they were still seen by others, indicating that this person really knew Qingshan very well. Fencing. What's more, this person also said that he knew immortal Qingshan. You must know that Wang Qingshan, the founder of Qingshan sword sect, has been missing for many years. If you know Wang Qingshan, it must be a character from Wang Qingshan's period. How strong is this old man? Senior, there are celestial demons making trouble here, we are just subduing demons and eradicating demons. Please don't obstruct us, Senior, said the old Taoist priest. This ancestral source of creation is the thing of the ancestors of the demons. Do you know the horror of this ancestral source of creation? Chen Shang said. I am here to take away the ancestors of the demons, so as not to prevent such monsters from harming them. Trouble. Senior, are you saying that you want to take away the ancestral source of creation? This is impossible. This kind of cosmic celestial body can only be controlled and moved by a more powerful source of origin. And there is a lot of chaos in the source of magic, and no one can get close. The old Taoist said in surprise. I can take it away, just watch it by your side. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he immediately asked Sister Xiaojing to do it. Just now, Sister Xiaojing was gathering energy. Because I took away an ancestral source of creation before, I have gained a lot of energy, and now it is very fast to condense energy. Senior, what should I do with this charming heavenly demon? The old Taoist said, you take away the ancestral source of creation, but she will definitely obstruct it, so let's join hands to kill her. Chen Shang felt a little surprised. Immortal cultivators also hated the heavenly demon too much. Even at this time, they still wanted to kill the charming heavenly demon. Senior, this charming heavenly demon was the leader of the heavenly demons back then, you must know. If Xuanzu and Yaozu hadn't made a move, she would most likely have become the demon emperor of Yishan. Now she is still very weak. It's a good time to destroy her. The old Taoist said again. No need, she has become my servant. There is no threat, Chen Shang said lightly. The current charming heavenly demon is no longer the same as the charming heavenly demon of the past, don't worry. Chen Shang didn't expect that the charming heavenly demon was actually the #1 character in Yishan, no wonder it was cultivated by Xuanzu. Ah, this. The old Taoist was astonished, but he didn't expect that someone would be able to subdue Meidian Yao. The immortal cultivators hiding in the dark all wanted to come out, and they all wanted to see this senior up close, but they didn't dare, for fear of being counterattacked by the charming heavenly demon. The divine mirror of 6 paths suddenly fluctuated, producing a very powerful spatial fluctuation, and then moved the ancestral source of creation into the divine mirror of 6 paths. This scene frightened the group of immortal cultivators stupid. This kind of ancestral origin was taken away when it was said to be taken away. What kind of character is this? Now they all think that this is most likely one of the 3 ancestors. Everyone, there will be an appointment later. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he took the charming heaven demon and went straight to space jump and headed to the star-dense area. He would continue to collect the stars of this small universe. The group of immortal cultivators was in a mess, only to hear the old Taoist shouting, Senior wait, please return to our flying sword. After flying away, Meidian Yao squeezed Chen Shang and snorted, who is your servant? Besides, why don't you let me kill those guys? They are still quite strong. Did you notice that they have been near Zuyuan for many years, and after absorbing the power of Zuyuan, they also have a special aura on their bodies, so it makes you feel that they have the aura of the magic ancestor. Chen Shang said. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4888, Steal the Star. Mei Tianyao was somewhat unwilling, because she wanted to kill those people, and she felt that if Chen Shang helped, he would definitely be able to wipe out those immortal cultivators. Even if you can kill them, why run? Mei Tianyao looked at Chen Shang resentfully, and said, Brother Shen, let's go back and kill them all. Sister Mei, you've been sealed for too long, you don't know the sinister nature of those guys. Chen Shang smiled and said, they don't dare to show their faces, and there are a lot of stars nearby for them to hide. It's hard to find them too. But just let them go. Mei Tianyao also hated the group of immortal cultivators very much. Sister Mei, have you ever thought about why they are a group of immortal cultivators in a small universe inside Wanzhou Mountain? And they are still outside the origin of the demon ancestor. Chen Shang said. Although they are from the Qingshan sword sect, but I suspect that they have been incorporated by Xuanzu. Ah, if they really took refuge in Xuanzu, then they should be killed. Mei Tianyao gritted his teeth and said, I hated immortal cultivators very much, not to mention they are now taking refuge in Xuanzu. Therefore, there must be a profound sky god general nearby. Chen Shang said, if you really want to find them out and kill them one by one, you might fall into the trap set by the sky profound god. Chen Shang was out of prudence. After all, it was a very bizarre thing that the demon ancestor became an ownerless thing. The ghost knows how many powerhouses are ambushing nearby. Charming Tianyao could only endure it, and now she is following Chen Shang in the various star fields of the small universe, collecting those high-quality stars. Seeing Chen Shang collecting thousands of giant stars, Mei Tianyao was secretly shocked, and was very curious about how big the space inside the Six Paths Divine Mirror was, and it could hold so many giant stars, and looking at Chen Zhang's energy, it seemed that he would continue charge a lot. After Chen Shang wandered around with the charming heaven demon for 2 days, he suddenly felt that the space of this small universe was very unstable. No, this small universe is going to be swallowed up. Charming Tianyao looked into the distance and said, it is also possible that because of the absence of the ancestral source of creation, the space wall became very weak and was torn and annexed by other universes. Then let's go, Chen Shang said. Sister Mei, take me to the next universe to find the origin of creation. Although there are many universes in Wanzhou Mountain, they are all relatively small universes. There should not be many universes with the origin of creation, Mei Tianyao said. I sensed a few before, and they are distributed in several places. Little universe, I'll take you there. Mei Tianyao is not in a hurry to strengthen her body now, because she knows that Chen Shang has to collect a lot of stars and obtain the ancestral source of creation, and she can help her when these things are done. Afterwards, Mei Tianyao used his powerful soul power to tear open the cracks in the space and take Chen Shang to the next small universe. After approaching, they found that there were many people from Xuanzu's sect, and the Tianxuan god general of the previous small universe actually came to the vicinity of the ancestral source of creation here. After Sister Xiaojing condensed the space power, she turned it on instantly, and took away the ancestral source of creation. The disciples of Xuanzu didn't have time to react, and found that the ancestral source of creation was gone. They also realized that this was the same as the appearance of the previous small universe. Condition. Sister Mei, where is the next ancestral source of creation? Let's hurry over there, Chen Shang hurriedly said. There is only one ancestral source of creation in this small universe, and you have to go to other small universes. Are you not collecting stars in this universe? Charming Tianyao asked. No, the Xuanzu disciples here will definitely go to the next ancestral source of creation and must be in front of them. Chen Shang said. Otherwise, we will face more and more Xuanzu disciples. That's right, 10,000 universe mountains like Xingchen is very good. Mei Tianyao nodded, and then took Chen Shang to the next place near the ancestral origin of creation. Because there are more and more ancestral origins in the Six Paths Divine Mirror, the use of space energy is also getting stronger and stronger. In addition, I have obtained the world-defining Taoism before, and it has been integrated almost. The Six Paths Divine Mirror has remarkable effects in all aspects. Promote. Therefore, the speed of collecting the ancestral source of creation is getting faster and faster. Under the leadership of Charming Heavenly Demon, Chen Shang collected a total of 10 ancestral origins of creation in Wanzhou Mountain. Only one was the origin of demon origin, and the other 9 were origins of Zan ancestral origin. There is a larger ancestral source of creation here, but it must be very risky. I don't recommend you to go, Mei Tianyao said. Brother Shen, you can accept it as soon as you see it. You now get 10 creations. There are quite a few ancestors. If the larger ancestral source of creation is taken away, it will definitely disturb the Lord of Wanzhou and the guardian deity of Wanzhou. When they all are dispatched, it will be difficult for Chen Shang to be active in Wanzhou Mountain. Well, let's collect the stars next. Chen Shang he said with a smile. This should be very safe and won't be discovered by them. The charming heavenly demon took Chen Shang directly to the big universe, where there were more high-quality stars. You must know that the world-defying cosmos map in the Six Paths Divine Mirror has become an artifact, and it can hold many stars, so Chen Shang can charge a lot and give Sister Xiaojing a variety of astrological formations in the world-defying cosmos map. Lord of the Universe, in Wanzhou Mountain, there are 10 small ancestors of creation that have lost their breath. This is what I just sensed, and I don't know what happened. This voice belongs to the ancestors of Wanzhou, it is also the ancestor of creation, and it is also the largest of Wanzhou Mountain. How could it be said no? Could it be that the ancestral source of creation went back by himself? The Lord of the Universe was also very puzzled. I don't know, and I also feel that the overall quality of our Wanzhou Mountain is declining. Generally, a large number of high-quality stars are lost, and this happens. Wanzhou Zuyuan said. One possibility is to go to the world-defying universe. What the **** is going on in this damned world-defying universe? The Lord of the Universe cursed angrily. We haven't gotten any benefits from the world-defying universe yet, but we have started to lose something. The ancestral source of creation of the world-defying universe is gone. They all returned to the motherland of Yishan. Wanzhou ancestral source said. I guess there is some turmoil in Yishan. At this time, an old man broke into the palace of the Lord of the Universe. Lord of the Universe, there is an ancient heavenly demon who has appeared with you, and also took a person to take away the origin of Xuanzu's creation. Demons fought. What? Didn't the ancestral source of creation run away by himself? The Lord of the Universe was shocked. The guy who took the ancestral source of creation has a big mirror. Do you recognize this person? The old man said coldly. We must find him and retrieve the ancestral source of creation, otherwise Xuanyuan ancestor blames us, and we will all be punished. It's him, Chen Shang. The Lord of the Universe said angrily, this little bastard, I won't let him go. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4889, Demon Ancestor Gate. Chen Shang and Charming Heavenly Demon were in a small universe together, laughing and collecting stars. They didn't know the giants of Wanzhou Mountain. They had already discovered that they had taken away the ancestral source of creation, and they also noticed that many high-quality stars were missing. The interior of Wanzhou Mountain was originally composed of multiple universes. Various large and small universes were all annexed by Wanzhou Mountain. At the beginning, the world-defying universe was almost annexed by Wanzhou Mountain. The universes annexed by Wanzhou Mountain are all independent, and the space walls between them are not particularly strong, so Chen Shang can easily jump. Chen Shang has just jumped to another universe. The scale of this universe is not small, and as soon as he enters, he can feel that the energy fluctuations are extremely strong. Brother Shen, how many stars do you want to collect? Charming Tianyao followed Chen Shang along the way. She also counted the huge stars collected by Chen Shang, and the total was over 10,000. I don't know, as long as I can continue, I won't stop. Chen Shang laughed. We are not in a hurry to return to the world-defying universe, and there are so many universes in Wanzhou Mountain, and there are many first-class stars. Wait for me to collect it. If you don't accept it, you won't accept it for nothing. Okay, but if you continue, you will definitely be discovered. The big guys in Wanzhoushan are not idiots. Charming Tianyao is still looking forward to how Chen Shang can help her become stronger. After all, Chen Shang knows how to concoct pills, and she is very eager to eat the kind of pills that can strengthen her body. When they find us, and stop us, so that we can't continue, then it's time to stop. Chen Shang said with a smile, he is not afraid at all now. As the Six Paths Divine Mirror collects more and more stars, the Six Paths Divine Mirror will definitely become stronger and stronger, at least when facing the Lord of the Universe, they will not be as embarrassed as before. Brother Shen, the demon ancestor has fallen. Does that mean that the demon ancestor's sect is completely over? Charming Tianyao kept thinking about this matter. I don't know much about the demon ancestor, but I learned it from your mouth. Chen Shang patted the head of the Madian monster and said with a smile, Sister May, the demon ancestor is dead, shouldn't you? Are you sad about that? Of course not. I'm thinking, if the sect of the demon ancestor is still there, then if I master the magic heart and soul, can I get the true inheritance of the demon ancestor? Then can I inherit the demon ancestor and then lead the demon ancestor one? Pulse. Mei Tianyao had an ambitious look on his face, and a faint smile appeared on the corners of his slightly raised mouth. Sister May, you still think of this level? Chen Shang laughed a few times, then became serious again, and said, this is indeed a drama. The premise is that you must know enough about the sect of the demon ancestor. Your strength must be strong enough, or others will disobey you. Then I have to return to Yishan. Mei Tianyao sighed softly. I don't want to go back to that ghost place, not to mention I have offended Xuanzu. If I return to Yishan, he will definitely find me. That can only be left to chance. Chen Shang said. Sister May, don't think too much now, practice the demon heart heavenly soul art, understand the essence of this practice, and strive to become a new generation of demon ancestors. You said it nicely. Mei Tianyao didn't want to, but she just thought about it, because it was really too difficult. The divine mirror of six paths continued to collect the stars, and when they were about to collect the stars, they suddenly felt the surrounding space fluctuate. Brother, someone is coming. Sister Xiaojing said. It should be the group of the Lord of the Universe. Hurry up and run, Chen Shang hurriedly said. Yeah, the Six Paths Divine Mirror immediately jumped in space. Someone is here. Charming Tianyao also noticed the fluctuations in space, and the Six Paths Divine Mirror also made a space jump at this time and left the universe. The Divine Mirror of Six Paths had just jumped to another universe, and felt a space fluctuation coming. These guys are very powerful, they are able to catch up. Mei Tianyao said in surprise. It should be the Lord of Wanzhou. Chen Shang said. After all, he is the owner of Wanzhou Mountain. It will definitely be very easy to pursue us in these universes. We can't stay for long. Mei Tianyao said, hurry up and return to the world-defying universe. Okay, let's go now. This trip is very rewarding, and it's not in vain. Chen Shang nodded. It's definitely not in vain, but you have taken away so many good stars and 10 ancestors of creation. Mei Tianyao pouted. Looking at your appearance, you are still very unwilling. Be content with you. Let's go. Chen Shang giggled, and the Six Paths Divine Mirror made a space jump and returned to the desolate Lois. This place is still in the Wanzhou Mountain, it is just a space, and there is a space channel connecting the world-defying universe. After coming here, the Six Paths Divine Mirror flew to the space passage and left Wanzhou Mountain. Soon after, the Lord of the Universe and the patron saint of Wanzhou, as well as an old man under Xuanzu's sect, also arrived at this desolate Lois disciple, suspended in the sky, and looked at the space passage in the distance. Sure enough, it's Chen Shang, he has returned to the world-defying universe. The Lord of 10,000 Universes cursed in a low voice. This bastard, we haven't caught anything from the world-defying universe, but now he has bailed it out, making me angry, and also. Lord of all universes, the current situation of the arrogant universe is very special. Xuanzu had an order before, without his permission, we are not allowed to enter the arrogant universe for the time being. The guy named Chen Shang took away the ancestral source of creation, we need to report the matter. If Xuanzu knew, what kind of punishment would we be punished? The Lord of the Universe was very unhappy and said, you are obviously responsible for guarding Zuyuan, but now that you have lost it, I don't want to take any responsibility. This matter is rather special, perhaps Xuanzu won't blame us, said the profound heavenly general. In short, we will inevitably be scolded. Chen Shang and charming heavenly demon returned to the world-defying universe, and immediately headed to the heavenly Jade Star region. In the area near the center of the heavenly Jade Star region, after Chen Shang and charming heavenly demon came here, they only felt an inexplicable sense of security. Brother Shen, can you help me make my body stronger now? Mei Tianyao whispered softly, they have helped you a lot this time. I'm here to help you. Chen Shang said with a smile. I also hope you become stronger, so that you can help me do more things. Okay, you really take me as your subordinate. I am the dignified demon emperor, so I won't become someone else's subordinate. This kind of angry look is also very pleasant. Sister Mei, I plan to refine the origin of the demon ancestor into a Tao seed, and then integrate it into your body. Maybe it will make you more like the ancestor of the devil. In this way, you really have the possibility to take over the ancestor sect. Chen Shang giggled. Road. Chen Shang had already thought about it before, the origin of the devil is more complicated, but it fits the charming heavenly demon very well. She who has practiced the magic of the devil's heart and heavenly soul might be able to easily integrate the Tao that the origin of the devil has transformed into. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4890, Great Alchemy Ancestral Source. Charming Tianyao naturally knows what Tao seeds are. She has Tao seeds herself, but she doesn't think Tao seeds have much effect. Brother Shen, I already have the Tao seed. The Tao seed is only the qualification that can make the living beings achieve breakthroughs. Charming Tianyao said. In Yishan, only the Tao seed can absorb the energy released by the ancestral source of creation. I already have shouldn't it be necessary? Sister Mei, Yishan's Tao seed and the Tao seed I mentioned are two different things. Chen Shang said. I mean, I want to refine the demon ancestral source into a Tao seed. After refining it, it will become very small. 1. You confuse the Taoism. Ah, how is this possible? That demon ancestor is also a great creation ancestor, how could it be so small? Because this had already subverted the charming heavenly demon's imagination, she shook her head again and again. And in her cognition, even the fusion of Taoism doesn't have much effect. Sister Mei, this is the world-defying universe. And the Tao seeds I made are all at the level of the universe Tao seeds. Chen Shanghe said with a smile, although it is a small one, it will definitely help you a lot. To be honest, I haven't tried it before, but it should work well. The Tao seed that Chen Shang obtained from the dark ancestral source before, after being refined into the world-defining Tao seed by him, was integrated into the 6 Tao divine mirror, and the effect was indeed very good. The divine mirror of 6 paths has been greatly improved. This is what little mirror told Chen Shang. You haven't tried it before. Madian Yao squinted at Chen Shang, and snorted, so you want to use me as an experiment. You really are uneasy and kind. I can guarantee that although I haven't tried it on humans, it must have a great effect. Chen Shang said with a smile, Sister May, because you have a very powerful soul, and you can easily cultivate a physical body, so even if it doesn't matter if the body is destroyed. Humph, what do you take me for? It's uncomfortable to have your body destroyed. Okay, then I'll give it a try. Mei Tianyao suddenly thought that Chen Shang possessed all kinds of very evil abilities, so she planned to take a gamble. Wait for me to refine it. Chen Shang took out the world-defying divine furnace, and then transferred the origin of the devil from the inside of the 6 paths divine mirror to the world-defying divine furnace by moving the space. Then he contacted Tianshuan Yuling again, and he needed Tianshuan Xingyu to provide energy. The celestial jade domain spirit also mobilized the energy to gather around Chen Shang and pour it into the world-defying divine furnace. The heavenly jade domain spirit is very clear that the aristocratic Tao seed and awakening ancestral origin of the heavenly jade star domain came from this furnace, so it will also help Chen Shang. How long will it take? Mei Tianyao asked. I don't know, this demon ancestral source is a little different from other creation ancestral sources, it may take some time. Chen Shang smiled and said, Sister May, I guess after you merge with the world-affectionate Tao seed, you will definitely become its very strong. Maybe it's because you practice the demon heart heavenly soul art, and then let you comprehend something. Don't make a big cake, I don't believe it. Mei Tianyao stuck out his tongue lightly, and was full of doubts about Chen Zhang's words. I'm very happy that my body can be restored to half of what it was back then. Sister May, don't underestimate the world-defining Taoist species. Chen Shang said. The world-arrogant Taoist species is in line with this world-arrogant universe, and is completely different from Yishan's Taoist species. The only thing you lack at that time may be because you haven't cultivated yet. Out of luck, it will cause your cultivation base to be relatively low. When my body gets stronger, I'll start cultivating my destiny right away. Mei Tianyao was also a little excited at the moment, and said, I still need to use the demon heart heavenly soul art to cultivate. Create a unique path of destiny. What she said is completely possible. Chen Zhang's fate cultivation is also a unique fate path. When Chen Shang was in Wanzhou Mountain before, he talked to Mei Tianyao about a lot of lifestyle cultivation, such as Ying Kuang's cultivation experience and so on. Charming Tianyao is now also patiently waiting for Chen Shang to refine the world-defying Tao seed. Originally, she wasn't particularly looking forward to this world-defying Tao seed, because she had absolutely no concept in this regard. However, when she heard Chen Shang say that this is through the method of alchemy, the ancestral source of creation has been refined into a kind of elixir, she has a certain concept, and she also thinks that this is very powerful. At this time, she is also very much looking forward to the effect. Several days passed, and Chen Shang finally refined that demon ancestor into a world-defying Tao seed, like a black crystal in the shape of a big apple. How to use it? Mei Tianyao frowned. Do you want to eat it? No. I use space to move this thing to the dantian in your body, and then you understand it yourself, use your own cultivation technique to refine it. Chen Shang said, you should need a lot of time to refine it. Okay, let's get started, said Mei Tianyao. Chen Shang immediately moved this black world-defying Tao seed into the charming heaven demon body. In just an instant, the face of Mei Tianyao changed, and the extremely beautiful face of melon seeds began to distort. What's wrong? Chen Shang said in horror, because the current appearance of the charming heavenly demon was too terrifying. I don't know, my body is very uncomfortable and my soul is also very uncomfortable. Mei Tianyao gritted his teeth and said, Brother Shen, I feel a very powerful energy. My mind is in a mess right now. I want to retreat and figure out how to cultivate. Okay, if you can't hold it, remember to protect your soul. The world-defying Tao seed is gone. Chen Shang urged. Charming heavenly demon immediately flew to the side, and then the energy around her began to condense. She gathered the energy of the stars floating around into a protective cover, covering herself in it. Brother, she didn't flinch, she should have felt the benefits of that world-defying Taoist. Sister Xiaojing said with a smile, it seems to work. It only works for her. After all, she has a very powerful soul, and she can rely on her powerful soul to suppress the power of the world-defeating Taoist species. It might be difficult for me to suppress it. Chen Shang said. Brother, let's start refining the 9 ancestral sources of creation. Sister Xiaojing said, how do you plan to do it? Take 5 of them to make a great ancestral source first, if not enough, then add the remaining ancestral sources. Chen Shang said. Okay. Sister Xiaojing immediately transferred the ancestral source of creation in the 6 paths divine mirror to the inside of the world-defying divine furnace. Chen Shang wants to refine a big ancestral source. This big ancestral source is mainly used to nurture the ancestral source. If the 5 small ancestral sources of creation are not enough, then continue to join in. If enough, the remaining ancestral sources of creation will be used to refine the world-defying Taoist species, and then integrate into the divine weapons such as the Qinglong slaughtering sword. The heavenly jade domain spirit is very curious now. What exactly is Chen Shang going to do? But he didn't ask, just said, Creator, do you think I can become a mother source? I am the biggest ancestor of the world-defying universe, but I feel like there is still a lot of room for improvement. I haven't seen Ma Yuan before, so I don't know much about it. Chen Shang was very surprised by these words after hearing the voice of Tianjia Yuling. Tianxuan Yuling suddenly said this, it is very likely that he has come into contact with Yishan's mother source, or he has come into contact with something, and he has this idea. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4891, Tianxuan comprehends. Chen Shang also felt that the world-defining universe couldn't be without the mother source, but he didn't know the mother source at all, and as far as he knew, even Yishan's mother source was very mysterious, only the 3rd ancestor knew the specific situation. According to Chen Zhang's understanding of the mother source, in Yishan, the mother source suddenly appeared, and then the 3 ancestors were born. Later, Meidian Yao told him that there was another demon ancestor, and that demon ancestor also had a mother source, but the mother source of the demon ancestor was gone. Tianxuan, I don't know much about the source of the mother. I haven't been in contact with it, and I haven't seen it. So I don't know how to turn you into the source of the mother. Chen Shang said, how much do you know about the source of the mother? You should start from some way to get in touch with the mother source. Can you talk to me? Chen Shang is currently refining the ancestral source of creation, and he also intends to take this opportunity to chat with Tianxuan Yuling about the ancestral source. I suddenly received a message, I don't know where it came from. Anyway, a voice suddenly communicated with me and asked me if I would like to connect with a mother source. Tianxuan Yuling said, I guess that the voice may be from another world. Ah, Chen Shang screamed in surprise. He didn't expect that Yishan was actually digging his corner. He hurriedly said, you must not agree. Creator, without your permission, I will never agree, said Tianxuan Yuling. Then what else did you chat with that voice? Chen Shang breathed a sigh of relief and continued to ask. I asked him about the mother source. The voice just said that after docking with the mother source, it can make me stronger. Tianxuan Yuling said. Then he didn't say anything to me, unless I promised to dock. Mother Yuan, you are willing to tell me more. The mother source is the thing that nurtures the ancestral source of creation. As far as I know, there are currently 3 in Yishan. Chen Shang said. I didn't expect that these mother sources could not only breed the ancestral source of creation, but also connect with other ancestral sources. Quote, if I connect, wouldn't I become the ancestor of the world again? Tianxuan Yuling's voice was a little angry, that guy actually wanted to lie to me. Tianxuan, Yishan's mother source must be connected somewhere. Chen Shang said, where is the ultimate source of the power of creation? At first I thought it came from the ancestor of creation, but later I found out that the source ran out of the mother source, and the mother source came from other places. Chen Shang shook his head, he didn't have a clue. Creator, I have been thinking and have some ideas. Tianxuan Yuling said. Since I was born, I have been very confused, and I want to know where the source of the power of creation is. Tell me about your guess. Chen Shang said. There is no so-called source of the power of creation. Tianxuan Yuling said. The power of creation is scattered and widely distributed, but after many years, it has been gathered. But there is always a place where the power of creation is born. Chen Shang said. It is impossible for a large number to appear for no reason. That's unknown. My guess now is that the power of creation is infinite, but it is gathered by the spirits born in the early days, so the power of creation is controlled in one area. Tianquan Domain Spirit said. How did the power of creation come into being? Maybe we will never find the answer. That is to say, the power of creation is actually a kind of energy. This kind of energy is everywhere. Although it is gathered, it still overflows a lot. Even these overflowing powers of creation can naturally form a large amount of energy. The universe and living beings. Chen Shang also speculated along the thoughts of Tianquan Yuling. Yes, and the so-called ancestral source of creation is most likely to recover the creation power. Tianquan Yuling said. Because once someone gathers the overflowing creation power, maybe they can have a powerful enough power, and then break down the mysterious place where the power of creation is gathered. It is indeed possible. Chen Shang frowned and said, could it be that the third ancestor did this kind of thing? In Yishan, this kind of thing does happen often, and the third ancestor also restricts Yishan's beings from breaking through their cultivation realm. Heaven, if everything wants to break through that realm, it needs the help of the three ancestors. The act of gathering the power of creation may also be the consciousness of the spiritual body that is naturally nurtured. It is a natural law of the power of creation. Tianquan Yuling said. And whether it is you or me, as long as we continue to grow going down, sooner or later, we will violate this law, and then we will be wiped out. Yeah, Chen Shang sighed. After the birth of the world-defying universe, the uncontrollable and crazy growth was something I didn't expect. So I think that the power of creation between the heavens and the earth itself has a natural law of self-growth and self-aggregation. The world-defining universe has enough creation power, and then the self-consciousness of the entire universe will continue to expand and absorb creation. World power, Tianquan Yuling said. Why don't we people, when we are strong enough, we always want to break through the limit, and we will continue to obtain a lot of resources to grow ourselves, and some people will even use any means. Chen Shang thought deeply and fearfully. So the earliest formation of the phenomenon of creation force gathering will be on guard against other competitors. Tianquan Yuling said, if you stared at us early and shot at us in advance, then we would not be able to stop it. Chen Shang secretly admired the heavenly jade domain spirit. As the spirit of the largest star domain in the world-defying universe, he has already thought about this level, which shows that it really wants to protect the stars of the world-defying universe. Isn't there any way? Chen Shang thought of this, and he thought of the third ancestor. Maybe the third ancestor would come to the world-defying universe and destroy the world-defying universe. Yes, I am the mother source. Tianquan Yuling said. I thought about it just now. The so-called mother source should be powerful enough, and then use this power to penetrate the space and connect with the power of creation. Gathering place. In this way, the mother source recycles the creation power through a large number of creation ancestral sources, and then sends it to the creation power gathering place. That is to say, if you become the mother source level, you can penetrate into the gathering place of creation power. Chen Shang was also suddenly a little excited. If this is the case, the world-defying universe can grow faster at that time, and even the third ancestor will not be able to destroy the world-defying universe. Yes, but I can't be the mother source myself. I need your help, Tianquan Yuling said. Creator, only you have this ability. How can I help you? Chen Zhang's current cultivation is still very low, but he was able to create a world-class ancestor, so Heavenly Jade Domain Spirit trusts him very much. I need to devour a lot of ancestral sources of creation. There were many ancestral sources of creation in the world-defying universe before, but they have all been withdrawn now, presumably because I am worried that they will be swallowed up by me, worried that I will become the mother source. Tianquan Yuling said. Now, with my size, I absorb the power of creation floating in the world-defying universe, and I don't know when it will become the mother source. Chen Shang now probably understands what to do now, that is, let him search for a large number of ancestral sources of creation, and then feed them to the heavenly jade domain spirit, so that it can grow into a mother source. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4892, Alien Immortal Gate. The heavenly jade domain spirit wants to become stronger, but it is also clear that it is impossible to rely on itself, and the entire heavenly jade star domain is so powerful that it has attracted the attention of the mother source over there. If Tianquan Star Territory relies on its own ability to absorb the power of creation, it will be difficult to grow to the point of invincibility. Ever since the heavenly jade domain spirit came into contact with the mother source on the other side of the sky, he has had a heavy sense of crisis, thinking that if it does not become stronger soon, the entire heavenly jade star region will suffer. At that time, even the creator, Chen Shang, will not be able to save it, so he will discuss this matter with Chen Shang. Naturally, Chen Shang couldn't watch the heavenly jade star region being destroyed by Yishan's power, so he would definitely help the heavenly jade region spirit. The heavenly jade domain spirit represents the stars of the entire heavenly jade star region. If Chen Shang can manage this relationship, the heavenly jade star region will completely surrender to him in the future. After all, the entire Tianquan star region is still somewhat wary of him, and this has always made Chen Shang very unhappy. If he promotes Tianquan Xingyu to cultivate the mother source, then he will be able to handle Tianquan Xingyu in the future. Tianquan, can you estimate how many ancestral sources of creation are needed? Chen Shang asked. About 100 middle-level creation ancestors. And each creation ancestor needs to be refined by the creator. If it is absorbed directly, it will not have any effect. Tianquan Yuling said, he was very clear about Chen Zhang's superb alchemy technique. 100. Chen Shang took a deep breath and said, this is very difficult. There are so many universes in the Wanzhou mountain next door, I don't know if we can make up 100 creation ancestors. Tianquan, you with a huge ancestral source, can you sense the ancestral source of creation in other universes? The place with the most ancestral origins is still Yishan, but Chen Shang can't go to Yishan now, and with his strength, it is very dangerous to go to Yishan. Now there are several other universes that are eyeing the world-defying universe, Chen Shang can only turn his eyes to those other universes. It should be possible, Tianquan Yuling said. The mother source of Yishan can perceive my existence from Yishan, then I should also be able to perceive the creation ancestors of other Yishan universes. Wan Zhoushan should be able to make dozens of them, right? Chen Shang rubbed his chin and thought, fortunately, he is already helping the charming heavenly demon to become stronger, and when the charming heavenly demon breaks through, he can take her to Wanzhou Mountain to get another wave of the ancestral source of creation. After Tianquan star territory has the mother source, it can connect to the mysterious and vast place where the power of creation gathers, and after absorbing energy, it can create a large number of ancestral origins in the arrogant universe. It won't be long before the world-defying universe will become the most powerful universe under the alien heaven, and then annex several surrounding alien universes and Wanzhou Mountain, and then it will be able to fight against the alien heaven. Of course, the matter of confrontation is handled by the heavenly jade domain spirit, and what Chen Shang has to face is people, such as Xuanzu's level guy. There are at least 60 in Wanzhou Mountain. I can directly send you to Wanzhou Mountain to get it. Tianquan Yuling said. The center of the Tianquan star region has gathered a lot of energy, and when needed, it can also gather the energy of all the stars in the star region, so it is very easy to open a space channel to enter the small universe inside Wanzhou Mountain. Tianquan, what about the other alien universes? How many ancestral origins are there? Chen Shang asked. You can also make dozens. You don't need to go to Yishan to make 100. Sky Jade Domain Spirit said. Creator, when things are done, the entire Sky Jade Star region will swear allegiance to you. Actually, the Heavenly Jade Star territory is powerful, and it is of great benefit to the world-defying universe and me. Chen Shang said. At that time, I have to ask you to do me a favor. 2 star territories have been sealed, and they have been there all in a very chaotic hibernation state. If possible, I would like to ask your help to see what is going on. Yes, Tianquan Yuling said. It is my duty to help the stars in the world-defying universe. In fact, it is the 2 star regions where the world-defying temple and the 100 Flowers temple are respectively located. Chen Shang has been trying to figure out the situation inside. Although he has not transformed into the evil star region, the current state has never been optimistic. Chen Shang continued to refine his ancestral source of creation. In fact, the heavenly jade domain spirit also knew what Chen Shang was tinkering with in the world-defying divine furnace, so he thought that Chen Shang could create the ancestral source. The ancestral origin of creation that Chen Shang obtained in Wanzhou Mountain before was actually very small, and they could not be regarded as a mid-level ancestral origin of creation. The middle-level creation ancestors are each twice as big as the small ancestors, and the big ancestors are twice as big as the medium ancestors. There are also super-large ancestral sources, and some are even dozens and hundreds of times the size of small ancestral sources. Chen Shang made an estimation and thought that with 5 ancestral sources, the great ancestral source could be refined. As long as it was the great ancestral source, it would be enough to breed the ancestral origin fate, which could be used to cultivate the fate primordial spirit. Tianxuan, can you stop the guys from Wanzhou Mountain from coming over? Chen Shang asked. If they can open the passage, there will be strong men coming over at any time. No, the world-defying universe is too big, and the channel they opened is too small for me, and I can't feel it at a place far away from me. Tianxuan Yuling said. If the world-defying universe has many a star field of a level similar to Tianxuan, it is possible to detect and block it in time. Understood, it seems that other star regions are still too young. Chen Shang sighed, and suddenly felt that world-defying universe still had a long way to go. Chen Shang continued to refine the great ancestral source, and after a few days, his communication talisman suddenly received a message from Wang Qingshan. Senior Qingshan, have you come back from Yishan? What is the current situation of the immortal cultivators in Yishan? Chen Shang was somewhat surprised and asked. Shen Gongzi, Yishan's immortal cultivators are very powerful now. They have become a powerful force in Yishan. Wang Qingshan was also very happy, and said, and they have all noticed the universe of the world, and they will go to the universe of the world after a while. Help you fight Guiyuan. Senior Qingshan, the current enemy of the world-defining universe is not Guiyuan but Xuanzu. Chen Shang said. Behind the Lord of Guiyuan is actually Xuanzu. Of course, the Lord of Guiyuan is also difficult to deal with. Ah, is this true? Wang Qingshan seemed surprised. Senior Qingshan, are you in the world-defying universe or in Yishan? Chen Shang hurriedly asked. I just came to the world-defying universe from Yishan. Wang Qingshan said. When I was in Yishan, I had contact with several headmasters of the cultivators sect, and they all agreed to help. Tell them not to come for the time being. Chen Shang said. The situation of the world-defying universe is very complicated. Chen Shang felt that those immortal cultivators had ghosts, and the immortal cultivators he met in Wanzhou Mountain seemed to cooperate with the disciples of Xuanzu. Mr. Shen, the cultivators have been able to develop because of the support of Xuanzu over the years. You said that Xuanzu supported the Lord of Guiyuan, this is unbelievable. Wang Qingshan seemed to sigh in melancholy. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4893, Jade Girl Communication. Hearing Wang Qingshan's words, Chen Shang was not surprised. When he and Meidian Yao were near the demon ancestor, he suspected that the group of immortal cultivators had something to do with Zan ancestor, and now Wang Qingshan's words confirmed his guess. Senior Qingshan, do you believe in me, or do you believe in those old cultivators? Chen Shang asked. Wang Qingshan had seen Chen Zhang's abilities, and also knew that the scale of the world-leading universe was closely related to Chen Shang. Intuition told him that he should believe in Chen Shang, but he also wanted to believe in immortal cultivators. After all, he had been sealed for many years, and he was eager to reintegrate into the strong circle of immortal cultivators. Senior, if immortal cultivators come to the world-defying universe, they will definitely have bad intentions. Chen Shang said. They will definitely come with the mission that Xuanzu gave, and I will definitely have a conflict with them. Chen Shang and Zanzu have already formed a relationship, especially the destruction of the Dark Ancestor, which has completely angered Zanzu. It won't be long before the Lord of Guiyuan will return to the world-defying universe, and adding those immortal cultivators at that time will indeed give Chen Shang a headache. Shen Gongzi, I have discussed with them and learned that they all hate Guiyuan very much. So I don't understand very much. Since there is Xuanzu behind Guiyuan, why does Xuanzu support immortal cultivators? Wang Qingshan still wants to understand this. He still thinks that the Xuanzu behind the immortal cultivator is not what Chen Shang imagined. I don't know, maybe the immortal cultivators in Yishan don't know the relationship between Xuanzu and Guiyuan, but the immortal cultivators in Yishan obey Xuanzu, and Xuanzu is my enemy. Chen Shang said. In other words, the Yishan cultivators will conflict with me sooner or later. It won't take long for them to come to the world-defying universe, and I'll test them out. Wang Qingshan had already made up his mind and said, Young Master Shen, no matter what, I'll be on your side in the end. I'll be with them for the time being. Mixed together, you can inquire about the information. That's okay, but senior, you have to be more careful. They all work for Xuanzu, don't let them discover your relationship with me, or they will attack you first. Chen Shang urged. I see. With a heavy heart, Wang Qingshan disconnected from Chen Shang. Originally, he was still very happy, because he brought a lot of helpers, but now he learned that these helpers are not good things, which makes him very sad. In order to speed up the refining of the great ancestral source of creation, Chen Shang could only release the Six Paths Divine Mirror and activate the time array to reverse time. Even so, he waited outside the Six Paths Divine Mirror for several days before he could successfully train a great ancestor. Very nice. Chen Shang closed his eyes and could see the great ancestral source inside the world-defying divine furnace. He called Little Mirror Sister to put it into the divine mirror of Six Paths. Then it is to use the remaining 4 team members to refine the small proud world Dao seeds. These world proud Dao seeds can be put into the divine artifact, which can make the divine weapons in his hand more powerful. Charming Heavenly Demon is still practicing in seclusion. Chen Shang doesn't know how she is cultivating now, but he is looking forward to her, thinking that Charming Heavenly Demon will definitely be able to cultivate a powerful body. During this period of time, Chen Shang also contacted his mother Guan Yiyu from time to time, instructing them to be optimistic about the passage of Wanzhou Mountain, and not to let Wanzhou Mountain enter the world-defying universe on a large scale. There are a lot of strong people in Wanzhou Mountain. If a large number of people enter the world-defying universe, it will make the world-defying universe very chaotic. With the help of the Heavenly Jade Domain Spirit, Chen Shang can obtain a large amount of star energy in the central area of the Heavenly Jade Star Domain, and there is no need to use the stars inside the Six Paths Divine Mirror. He is also very proficient in creating the world-defying Dao Seed. As long as there is enough energy support, he can quickly refine it through the world-defying Divine Furnace. In just a few days, he made 2 of them, and they were integrated into the Qinglong Demon Slayer Sword and the Suzaku Tenderness Silk. This needed to be handed over to Sister Xiaojing to help with the refining, and let the 2 divine weapons refine the proud world Dao Seed. He also has 2 ancestral origins of creation, and he has also refined them into the world-defining Taoist species, which can be integrated into the interior of the White Tiger Jingyu Fan and the world-defying Divine Furnace. There is no ancestral source of creation in his hand, and Chen Shang feels a little empty. When there are multiple ancestral sources of creation in the Six Paths Mirror, the energy of the entire Six Paths Mirror is very abundant. Now inside the Six Paths Divine Mirror, there is only one great ancestral source left. This great ancestral source does not release energy, but absorbs the energy from the outside world to cultivate the ancestral source. Chen Shang waited for more than a month in the Tianshuan Star region, and the Charming Heavenly Demon had not yet cultivated his body. During this period of time, Chen Shang also practiced his own exercise as well. Although his cultivation was low, he was still able to fight with the help of the Six Paths Divine Mirror and several divine weapons. One day, when he was flying around to check the light group where Charming Heavenly Demon was training, he suddenly received a message from someone, and it turned out that Guo Lingshe had contacted him. Chen Shang, where are you? Guo Lingshe heard a voice through the communication talisman given by Chen Shang, and it sounded anxious. I have returned to the world-defying universe, and I have important news to tell you. I'm in the Heavenly Jade Star territory, is there anything important? Chen Shang hurriedly asked. Master is missing. Longzhu seriously injured the 3rd ancestor of Yishan. At present, Xuanzhu is respected and has mastered the whole of Yishan. After the master of Guiyuan returned to Yishan, he obtained the position of Emperor Veneration and became the Emperor of Ghosts. Xuanzhu also after subduing the other 5 emperors, Yishan belongs to Xuanzhu. Guo Lingshe sighed helplessly, I'll find you now. Ah, this, Chen Shang was very shocked, he didn't expect the situation in Yishan to turn into this. I went back to Yishan to find my master, but I didn't find it, but I accidentally contacted Longzhu, who told me. Guo Lingshe said, Longzhu also said that the world-defying universe is very important, but he didn't say why. Miss Guo, have you heard of Demon Ancestor? Chen Shang asked. I only learned from him after seeing Longzhu. He told me that there was another Demon Ancestor, but it was destroyed by Xuanzhu. Xuanzhu got the mother source of the Demon Ancestor and devoured the Demon Ancestor. Power. Guo Lingshe said, that's why Xuanzhu suddenly became very strong, breaking the balance of power between the 3 ancestors. So it is. Chen Shang took a deep breath and said, then come here. Be careful on the road. After the Lord of Guiyuan becomes the Ghost Emperor, he will soon return to the world-defying universe and will seek revenge from you. Guo Lingshe said. Just let him go. Playing with me in the Aoshi universe, I haven't been afraid of anyone. Chen Shang is not afraid now, because the divine weapons and artifacts in his hands are all blended with the world-defeating Taoist species, and he also has a great ancestral origin, so the Lord of Guiyuan can't help him. After he became Emperor Zun, he became very strong. Guo Lingshe said, I can't beat him. But it's okay to protect you. And we don't need to confront him now. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4894, Demon Ancestor. These words made Chen Shang feel a little weird. He doesn't need any protection now, he just needs help. Besides, he now has the saucy fox, Meidian Yao, to protect him, so he doesn't need Guo Lingshui's protection. Of course, he didn't tell Guo Lingshe what he said in his heart, otherwise she would definitely be angry. Miss Guo, did they know that you returned to Yishan? Chen Shang asked. I know, and they also sent people to arrest me. Guo Lingshe said, fortunately, my strength is not bad, I escaped their pursuit, and finally I met Long Zhu. Although he was injured, he dealt with some minors. It's still alright. Long Zhu should only be unable to beat Xuanzu. It should be no problem to beat those emperors, right? Chen Shang rubbed his chin and thought, he felt that he might be able to unite Long Zhu, and Long Zhu seemed to know a lot of things. He's not afraid of Emperor Guiyuan, in short. Long Zhu is now no match for Xuanzu in Yishan, unless he can find my master. Guo Lingshe sighed, but master has been missing for many years, and Long Zhu has been looking for her. But I can't find it anywhere. It should be the time, and when the time is up, she will naturally appear. Chen Shang said, Miss Guo, you should first cultivate the way of life in the world-defying universe, maybe you will be able to break through to a higher realm in the future. Don't be afraid of Emperor Guiyuan. Even so, this road must be very bumpy. Guo Lingshe sighed, although I have doubts about this is the only way to go now. Guo Lingshe knew very well that no matter how she cultivated in Yishan, her cultivation was already limited, and she could break through unless one of the three ancestors helped her with great strength. For example, the Lord of Guiyuan became the Emperor of Guiyuan only with the help of Xuanzu. As long as you reach the level of Emperor Zun, no one can do anything except the three ancestors. When the Lord of Guiyuan hadn't become an emperor before, he couldn't beat Guo Lingshe. I found Meidian Yao, she is willing to guide you to cultivate your soul. Chen Shang said, but she is still practicing in seclusion right now. Miss Guo, you can wander around in the world-defying universe, and I will contact you when she is out of the seclusion. You. Chen Shang is also reluctant to contact Guo Lingshe now, worried that she will stop his plan, because he will go to other universes to capture the ancestral source of creation. Most of the ancestral sources of creation were placed by Xuanzu in Yishan Cosmos. This is allowed, so Chen Zhang's taking the ancestral source is considered a theft for Guo Lingshe, a Yaoshan Jade girl. Okay, I'm just walking around in the Aoshi universe, and I'll contact you if I have anything. Guo Lingshe also wants to get to know Aoshi universe seriously, because she will be in this new environment for a long time. Chen Shang had forged 4 world affectionate Dao seeds before, and then asked Sister Xiaojing to transform and refine those divine weapons, and refined the world affectionate Dao seeds into them, and now they are almost fused and refined. Chen Shang tried it out and found that the power has increased a lot, and he is very satisfied with it. He can't wait to go to Emperor Guiyuan to try the power of these divine weapons. Finally, the charming heavenly demon finally emerged from that light group. After the light group split, Chen Shang saw a tall woman wearing a pink dress with a faint glow all over her body, which made Chen Shang a little surprised. This is indeed the charming heavenly demon, but she has grown a bit taller and is not as petite and exquisite as before. Her face is still that slightly pure melon seed face, which is still so delicate and beautiful. It's just that now it has a bit more mature temperament, and the charming heavenly demon looks like it has suddenly grown up. Hee, I've become stronger. Meidian Yao folded his arms around his chest and said with a tender smile, Brother Shen, the Dao seed you cultivated is really a good thing. It helped me to understand the deeper magic of the devil's heart, the heavenly soul, and I said maybe he can really become a new generation of demon ancestors. Sister Mei, have you started cultivating Fate Grid now? Chen Shang secretly investigated, and was even more shocked, because Meidian Yao has the fluctuation of Fate Grid power. Yeah, I have now cultivated 8 fates. And they are all very big. Meidian Yao covered his mouth and chuckled. My body has cultivated 8 fates, and my soul also has 8 fate. Ah, impossible, the way of cultivating fate form, the body and soul are one body, it's impossible to separate them to cultivate fate form. Chen Shang said in surprise, then shook his head again and again. He had thought about this too, but found that it didn't work at all. That's because I have walked my own path. Mei Tianyao fluttered her long hair charmingly, and giggled, "Brother Shen, how do I look now? Did you do anything wrong to me?" Thought. "Sister Mei, I'm only curious about your cultivation now." Chen Shang shrugged and said with a smile, "You've changed a lot, and I don't know what your current strength is. No matter what, I now have the Tao seed of the demon ancestor, and I am a woman who wants to become the demon ancestor." Charming Tianyao stroked his chest, his charming face became a little more serious, and said, "The demon ancestor Yuan Lian, the Tao seed that I have become has such a great improvement. Especially the effect of the demon heart heavenly soul art for me. Do you have any special abilities now?" Chen Shang asked curiously. "My soul is stronger." Charming Tianyao smiled a few times, then stared into Chen Zhang's eyes, and directly used the power of charm to evoke all kinds of desires in Chen Zhang's heart. However, she underestimated Chen Zhang's concentration and found that Chen Shang was standing there very calmly. "This trick won't work," Chen Shang said with a smile. "That's because I only used one success. You are very powerful, if others can't stop it at all." The pink light in Mei Tianyao's eyes gradually dimmed, and she finished the effort. "Sister Mei, are you bragging? One success. Even if you use 10 successes, you won't be able to put me down." Chen Shang laughed loudly, he was very confident in his determination. However, he also remembered that the last time he suffered a loss, he still entered Fang Qing's delusional realm. For this reason, he had specially cultivated, just to not let himself be charmed again, which would lead to loss of body. "Brother Shen, do you really want to try my most powerful charm technique?" Charming heavenly demon looked confused, licked his lips lightly, and said with a chuckle, "Don't regret it." "I won't regret it, come on." Chen Shang really wanted to try, because he was very confident now that even Fang Qing's lost soul would not be able to charm him. "Okay, I'll start." After Charming Tianyao finished speaking, a pair of beautiful water eyes suddenly flashed a pink light, hitting the center of Chen Zhang's eyebrows. In just a moment, Chen Shang was in a trance, everything in front of him became dazed, and then suddenly there were many strange thoughts in his mind. At this moment, he heard the voice of the charming heavenly demon, echoing in his mind. This made Chen Shang instantly terrified, because it seemed that the charming heavenly demon entered the abyss of his soul, and seemed to be able to completely control his soul. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4895, Ecstasy. Chen Shang immediately realized that he was possessed by the charming heaven demon. And this is not just a simple possession, it even controls his emotions, which is terrifying. Chen Shang has encountered so many charm techniques, most of which have no effect on him. However, the charm technique used by the charming heavenly demon on him is very difficult to resist. Charming Tianyao seems to have completely controlled his soul. Chen Zhang's mind began to think wildly. The worst thing is that Mei Tianyao didn't let him think about that kind of fragrant picture, but let him imagine a happy married life with Mei Tianyao, which is all the fantasies of all kinds of young couples flirting. In Chen Zhang's mind, many memories that did not belong to him even began to appear. For example, he knew the charming heavenly demon since he was a child, and when he grew up, he went through a lot together, and the two loved each other, shared ups and downs, and finally became husband and wife. Live a happy life. In this way, the charming heavenly demon planted a seed of love in Chen Zhang's heart, and wanted to make Chen Shang love her madly. Chen Shang was not to be outdone, because he was aware of what the charming heavenly demon had imposed on him, so he kept resisting. What shocked Chen Shang was that the charming heavenly demon actually came, not to test him, but to hope that he would love her madly. Dead fairy. Chen Shang cursed in the bottom of his heart, he couldn't resist the memories that charming heavenly demon had instilled in him. All he could do now was to stay awake and let himself understand that those memories were all fake. Chen Shang began to suspect that these were all her own fantasies, perhaps the life she always wanted to live. He also found that charming Tianyao's fantasy is still very simple. The two are sweet and greasy all day long, and there is no more intimate fantasy. Obviously, charming Tianyao is not familiar with that kind of thing, so she fantasizes not come out. Charming Tianyao also knows that Chen Shang is determined, and it is really difficult to completely charm Chen Shang, but her method is really effective, and it has already shaken Chen Zhang's heart. Now it seems that a voice is telling Chen Shang that if he accepts it, he will be able to live that kind of sweet life in the future. Fortunately, Chen Shang has a lot of experience, although this kind of fantasy of charming Tianyao can shake him, but it can't make him give up resistance completely. In this way, the two actually fought for 3 days before they stopped. "Sister Mei, are you serious?" Chen Shang touched his aching head. The charming heaven monster instilled a lot of memories, which damaged his soul somewhat. You're amazing, Mei Dian Yao snorted, and then smiled tenderly. I tell you, don't have any crooked thoughts. I only instilled those memories in you to charm you, so don't have any illusions. What illusion can I have? Chen Shang curled his lips and said, I'm still very depressed, and there are so many garbage memories in my head for no reason. What did you say? Mei Dian Yao gritted his teeth and snorted, then pinched Chen Zhang's ear, and said sternly, no matter what, it is the beautiful life I yearn for, you are not allowed to say that. By the way, you have to agree. I will never cut off this memory. Okay, I promise you. Chen Shang spread his hands, and then he had to let charming Tian Yao take him to capture the ancestral source of creation. She said what she said. It's almost the same. Mei Dian Yao smiled smugly, and then said, by the way, who is more beautiful now, Guo Lingshe or me? You are prettier. Chen Shang smiled and said, if she and you have to choose one, I will choose you without hesitation. Sister Mei, you were a little beauty before, but now you are a big beauty. HMPH, your words are not sincere at all. Mei Dian Yao rolled her eyes at Chen Shang, put her hands on her hips, and asked, come on, what do you want me to do? When a man's mouth is sweet, it's definitely not good. I need a lot of ancestral sources for the creation of the world. It's hard work for Sister Mei and me to make a trip. Chen Shang sighed, a lot of things have happened during your retreat. Guo Lingshe has also come to defend the universe with her. Bad news. What bad news? Mei Dian Yao was immediately curious and asked. She said that Yaozu was missing, Longzhu was injured, and Xuanzu dominated Yishan. The Lord of Guiyuan became the Emperor of Guiyuan, and the 5 emperors of Yishan all pledged allegiance to Xuanzu. Chen Shang sighed. Also, that Emperor Guiyuan Zun will soon come to Aoshi Universe to seek revenge on me. I'm not surprised by this. Charming Tianyao said. By the way, there are also immortal cultivators from other heavens, now they are all following Xuanzu. Chen Shang said. They are very dangerous, and their strength is not weak. You can refine the ancestral source of creation into a universe Tao seed. You need a lot of ancestral sources of creation. You have to be prepared, right? Since the charming heavenly demon has integrated the Tao seed refined from the ancestral source, he has more trust in Chen Zhang's ability, and he also admires it very much in his heart. Now she also believes in Chen Zhang's alchemy technique. In her opinion, Chen Zhang's alchemy technique is beyond her understanding. When she was in Yishan, she had never heard of anyone who could refine the ancestral source of creation into a Taoist seed. Even Xuanzu has to collect a large number of Tao seeds and sacrifice many people's lives in order to refine the universe Tao seeds, but these Tao seeds are full of negative energy, and when they merge into the star field, they will breed star evil. Area. Yes, Sister Mei, your strength has improved a lot now. I think you should be able to help me get it done soon. Chen Shang smiled and said, this time, we are going to find those bigger founders, source, but also to other alien universes. You said that Guo Lingshe is in the world-defying universe. Don't you know her very well? Why don't you ask her for help? Mei Dian Yao pouted, just ask me to do this kind of hard work. Because I'm very familiar with you. When I call her, I'm called Miss Guo, and when I call you, I'm called Sister Mei. Who is my relationship with, isn't it clear at a glance? Chen Shang said with a smile, Sister Mei, I won't treat you badly either. When you cultivate to the 9 fate, you need to face the fate, and then you need the ancestral fate, and I can help you. I want to meet Guo Lingshe. Mei Dian Yao said, I'm stronger now, I want to compete with her. You don't have any deep hatred, no need, no need. Chen Shang quickly waved his hands and said, this is what he is most worried about. It's alright, I'm just simply discussing with her. Mei Dian Yao said, in the world-defying universe, only she is worthy of being my opponent, and I want to have a good fight with her. Didn't you say that you want to guide her to cultivate her soul? Chen Shang said with a ha-ha, if that's the case, what else is there to fight for? It's not good. Call her here. Mei Dian Yao stared at Chen Shang with a stern face, and said, if you don't fight her, I won't help you find the ancestral source of creation. Okay. Chen Shang was very helpless, so he could only take out the communication talisman to contact Guo Lingshe. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4896, Heavenly Demon Worships Yaoshan. Chen Shang didn't really hope that charming Tianyao would meet Guo Lingshe now. On the one hand, he was worried that something uncontrollable would happen after they met. In addition, Chen Shang was afraid that Guo Lingshe would know that he helped the charming heavenly demon to become stronger, and then asked him to help. It's not that Chen Shang is unwilling, he just feels that after helping Guo Lingshe, he didn't get the corresponding reward. The charming heavenly demon helped him to get a lot of ancestral origins, so Chen Shang helped her, and Guo Lingshe was a very principled person, and she refused to be Chen Zhang's tool person. Charming Tianyao was used by Xuanzu before, and this is what she was willing to use for the sake of gain. Now she is willing to be Chen Zhang's tool person because of the benefits. Charming Tianyao naturally didn't know Chen Zhang's careful thoughts, she just thought that Chen Shang was eager to go to other universes to collect the ancestral source of creation. Brother Shen, don't worry, after I meet Guo Lingshe, I'll go with you right away. Charming Tianyao giggled. Tell me honestly, the real purpose of seeing Guo Lingshe? Chen Shang asked. It's nothing, I just want to see her, but I don't have to fight her. Mei Tianyao smiled slyly, let's see the situation then. Besides, even if I want to fight her, you don't necessarily want to fight me, do you? Okay, I've already contacted her. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, if she refuses to come, then it's none of my business. Chen Shang did contact Guo Lingshe and told her that charming Tianyao wanted to meet her. Guo Lingshe is traveling in the world-defying universe. Although she is not familiar with the world-defying universe, the Tianquan star field is very obvious and can be easily found. After Guo Lingshe came to the vicinity of the Tianquan star territory, Chen Shang locked her communication talisman, and immediately sent it with the charming heaven demon. Although Guo Lingshe is wearing a bright red dress, her temperament is elegant and vulgar, cool and moving. Charming Tianyao's pink dress, as well as a pair of fox ears and a fox tail, although she looks very sexy, her melon face is a bit innocent and pure. Chen Shang stood on the divine mirror of 6 paths and had already moved away from them. The two women were suspended in the void, behind the huge Tianquan star field. They looked at each other, as if they would fight at any time. This is your body. Guo Lingshe spoke first, her voice cold. Yeah, Miss Guo, you don't look very good. Mei Tianyao's voice is very gentle and sweet, and there is a very soft smile on his face. This is a very comfortable smile no matter how you look at it. What do you have to do with me? Guo Lingshe asked. That stinky man said, you wanted to find me before, to ask for advice on soul cultivation. While Mei Tianyao was talking, he also glanced at Chen Shang who was shrinking in the distance. Chen Shang just smiled slightly, and at the same time hoped that they would fight quickly and fight quickly. Yes, Guo Lingshe nodded lightly and said, if you want, I will also teach you Yaoshen's magic. Ah, this is the magic of your Yathionman. I heard that this needs to be passed down by Yaozu. Mei Tianyao was a little surprised, but Guo Lingshe was willing to pay such a price. You said before that you wanted to join Yathionman, and you also looked for a master but was rejected. In the end, you went to Xuanzu, right? Guo Lingshe said. It's almost like this. Mei Tianyao sighed softly and said, if we had joined Yathionman, we might have been seniors and sisters. I can decide for master, accept you into Yathionman, and pass on your Yaoshen divine art. Guo Lingshe said, Yaoshen divine art really needs to be taught by master, but if you have a high understanding, you can also see for yourself the mystery of Yaoshen divine art. Self-comprehend the way of self-cultivation. Is this really possible? Charming Tianyao was very moved. She had promised Chen Shang that she would help Guo Lingshe to cultivate, but she just wanted to show some generosity. She was rejected when she went to Yathionman before. She wanted Yathionman to know that she, a little goblin who cultivates the demonic way, is more broad-minded than them. Chen Shang, who was in the distance, was also very surprised by this. He didn't expect Guo Lingshe to make such a decision. If you want, you can get started now. Guo Lingshe showed a rare gentle smile on her face, and said, after you get started, you will be my junior sister. Then, this bastard, the Lord of Guiyuan, isn't my senior brother. Mei Tianyao thought of this, somewhat unhappy, and pouted slightly. He is no longer a disciple of Yathionman. Guo Lingshe was also disgusted when he mentioned the Lord of Guiyuan. Senior sister, I am willing to worship Yathionman. Mei Tianyao also agreed very simply, and looked at Chen Shang in the distance very proudly. Chen Shang just shrugged. He is now a little worried that because of such a thing, the charming heavenly demon would not be his tool person. He originally thought that the ceremony of worshipping Yathionman was very simple, but he did not expect it to be very complicated. Guo Lingshe took out a large formation plate and let the charming heavenly demon sit on it, then started the formation, and then forged some kind of soul contract with the charming heavenly demon. In short, this is not a simple introductory ceremony, it looks like it is deeply tied to Yathionman. Moreover, Yaoshan divine art was also taught directly to the charming heavenly demon in this way. Senior sister, why can you decide to accept me? Yaozu, no, it's master. If she didn't agree, wouldn't it be too good? If she doesn't recognize me, will she kick me out of Yathionman? Mei Tianyao was worried about this. Junior sister, there are only 2 disciples left in Yathionman. Guo Lingshe said this, although her face was very calm, but there were tears of grief in her eyes. Mei Tianyao whispered, what's going on? The Yathionman of Yishan is very powerful. Yathionman was destroyed. Guo Lingshe sighed. I was not there when I needed me most. Chen Shang also flew over and asked, did Xuanzu do it? I don't know. Guo Lingshe shook his head and said, I asked Long Zhu, and he wasn't sure if Zhanzu did it. In short, all the disciples of Yathionman were killed. Senior sister, what about master? Don't you have any clues? Mei Tianyao asked. No. Guo Lingshe shook his head, then asked, Junior sister, what are your plans next? Mei Tianyao looked at Chen Shang, then smiled, Senior sister, didn't I have no body before? Later, I cultivated a body, but it was very weak. He helped me create a strong body. So I want to help him do things. Miss Guo, don't worry, I won't treat your junior sister badly. Chen Shang smiled and said, I promise you. Your body is indeed very strong. You can achieve such a great improvement in such a short period of time. Young Master Shen must have paid a lot, and he really needs to repay him. Guo Lingshe nodded and said, Junior sister, then I will be with you, help young Master Shen. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4897, Cultivation into the Devil. Senior sister, that's great. With you by my side, I won't be so lonely. Senior sister is so considerate. At this moment, charming heavenly demon actually hugged Guo Lingshui's arm very intimately, and then kissed Guo Lingshui's beautiful jade face. When Chen Shang saw that Guo Lingshe was also willing to be a tool person, he was very excited at first, but he suddenly felt that something was wrong. Especially seeing Mei Tianyao and Guo Lingshe being so affectionate, seeing Chen Zhang's face bewildered, he always felt that something was wrong. Guo Lingshe is indeed taking on the responsibility of the senior sister now, and she loves the little fox junior sister Mei Tianyao very much. The 2 hold hands, which is very sweet. Chen Shang even saw that charming Tianyao's hand was taking advantage of Guo Lingshe from time to time, and that kind of method was like a very wretched old hooligan. It's not right, it's not right. Chen Shang cried out in his heart. He suddenly recalled that the charming heavenly demon once possessed Guo Lingshe, and the charming heavenly demon must have done something to Guo Lingshui's soul at that time. Because according to common sense, Guo Lingshe was possessed by the charming heavenly demon, and she was almost used by the charming heavenly demon to mess around with her body. How could she endure such a thing? However, Guo Lingshe not only endured it, but also planned to ask Mei Tianyao for advice on soul cultivation. Chen Shang remembered again that the charming heavenly demon used that very strange charm technique on him before, to instill a lot of memories into him, just to make Chen Shang love her so much that he couldn't help it, but this trick was useless to Chen Shang. Brother Shen, why are you looking at us like this? Don't you welcome my senior sister to come with me? Mei Tianyao giggled. It's not, but I think it's fine to go with you. Miss Guo's current state is not very good. She has just returned from another day and needs to take a good rest. Chen Shang was suddenly a little worried. If these 2 women joined forces to harm him, it would be very difficult for him to deal with it. Charming Tianyao didn't know that Chen Shang thought a lot, but he simply felt that Chen Shang wanted to be alone with her. Yes, she is now very sure that Chen Shang has bad thoughts on her. After all, she is still very confident in her charm technique. It's okay, I just need to rest for a while and I'll recover soon. Young Master Shen, let me and my junior sister accompany you. Guo Lingshe smiled at Chen Shang and said, it looks like you guys are going to carry out some kind of danger. My strength is acceptable, 1 more person means 1 more guarantee. Hearing Guo Lingshe say this, Chen Zhang's scalp numbed secretly. Guo Lingshe doesn't speak much, but suddenly said a lot of words. Charming heavenly demon's charm technique can actually change a person's temperament. Miss Guo, why don't you do this? I want Sister Mei to help you cultivate your soul. After your soul is strengthened, you can start to practice the way of lifestyle. Chen Shang said. Then you retreat in the world-defying universe, and Sister Mei and I are in front of you. Just do it. Mei Tianyao glanced at Chen Shang with a wink. She really hoped to take Guo Lingshe with her, but Chen Shang obviously disagreed. It was obvious what purpose it was. Senior sister, just do as he said. I'll teach you how to cultivate a powerful soul. It will take a little time. Mei Tianyao took Guo Lingshui's hand and released a small palace suspended in the air. After she brought Guo Lingshe into the small palace, she closed the door and let Chen Shang wait outside. Sister Mei, this is outside the Heavenly Jade Star territory. I'll take you to the depths of the Heavenly Jade Star territory to practice. Chen Shang said, you can just land on my 6 paths divine mirror. Chen Shang enlarged the divine mirror of 6 paths, let the small palace land on it, and then made a space jump to enter a relatively energy-dense area in the Tianshuan star territory, and there were also many giant stars floating nearby. The energy emitted by those stars can be absorbed casually. Chen Shang was waiting outside. He didn't know what Mei Tianyao and Guo Lingshe were doing inside, he just felt that Guo Lingshe had been caught by Mei Tianyao. In order not to wait that long, Chen Shang also asked Sister Xiaojing to open the time domain to speed up the time inside the small palace. Chen Shang waited outside for 2 days, and then saw the charming heavenly demon come out. Sister Mei, where's Miss Guo? Chen Shang looked at the door of the small palace, but just after looking at it, it was closed by the Meidian demon. Senior sister is still inside, making the final breakthrough. Mei Tianyao smiled tenderly. Brother Shen, why don't you want to bring senior sister? Sister Mei, I feel that Miss Guo's temperament has suddenly changed. Have you done something to her soul? Chen Shang lowered his voice and asked with a serious face. No, Mei Tianyao snorted softly, so you are doubting me. I don't believe it. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, Guo Lingshe suddenly has such a change, it's impossible for you to do nothing. I really didn't, I just made her feel good about me. Mei Tianyao smiled charmingly and said, I just didn't expect this effect. I have used it on you before, I hope you have a good opinion of me, but to no avail. HMPH, you still said that you didn't do anything to her. You are not being kind to her in this way. Chen Shang looked at Mei Tianyao with contempt in his eyes. Brother Shen, my method is mainly to open her heart, release a little bit of goodwill in her heart, and let her free herself, and that's it. Mei Tianyao said with a wicked smile, senior sister has always been to me. There is a good impression, I just let her open her heart, it's so good, Yaoshan Yunu is so obsessed with me, not like someone, like Wood. Okay, just don't play it off. Chen Shang always felt that charming Tianyao's method was somewhat unkind. Why, I teased your girl Guo, are you jealous? Are you uncomfortable? Mei Tianyao stuck out his tongue and giggled, you little bastard, you said that there are many women around you, be careful. Hey, don't get caught by me. Damn fox spirit, Chen Shang cursed in a low voice. I won't tell you, I will continue to help senior sister cultivate her soul. Look how much I love her, and I have sacrificed a lot for her. After Mei Tianyao finished speaking, he entered the small palace again. Chen Shang looked disgusted, waved his hand, and said, hurry up. I'm waiting for you and me to capture the ancestral source of creation. Got it, came the voice of the charming heavenly demon. Chen Shang didn't even think about it, he also cultivated his own technique. The Mei Tianyao had just entered for a long time when the small palace suddenly vibrated. Chen Shang, who was practicing the exercises, frowned, and then ignored it, he just felt that the movement was a bit loud. Just when he felt that there was nothing wrong, the painful screams of Mei Tianyao suddenly came out. At this time, Chen Shang realized that there was something wrong with the cultivation of Mei Tianyao and Guo Lingshe. Sister Mei, Miss Guo, what happened to you? Chen Shang shouted outside the door, is the problem serious? Mr. Shen, come in and help us. Guo Lingshe also shouted, she seemed to be in pain too. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4898, Magic Attack. This situation is obviously a problem with cultivation. Chen Shang closed his eyes, shook his head and sighed, he knew that when Mei Tianyao and Guo Lingshe got together, something would definitely happen. Especially the Mei Tianyao, there is no way to do things, it's just chaos. Chen Shang walked to the door of the small palace, secretly guessing that the charming heavenly demon passed the demon heart heavenly soul art to Guo Lingshe, and then something went wrong in the process. Chen Shang opened the door and went in, and saw Guo Lingshe and charming heavenly demon hugging each other tightly. Beneath their snow-white skin, something like a red electric current can be vaguely seen flowing. Their two faces, which were originally beautiful, were twisted by pain at this time. They hugged and comforted each other. It can be seen that their current pain is not only from the body, but also from the depths of the soul. Although they were in pain before, they could still speak and communicate, but now they are speechless, and they cannot even use their souls to communicate through voice transmission. It can be seen that if there is no one to help, maybe they will die from this pain. What's the situation? Chen Shang hurriedly walked over, and quickly released his consciousness to investigate. The two women were speechless, so they could only try to open their eyes and stared at Chen Shang with eyes full of help. The clothes on their bodies were obviously destroyed by a certain energy, but Chen Shang couldn't care so much now. If he didn't touch them, he didn't know how to rescue them. Can you separate you? Chen Shang asked. If you can, just blink your eyes. Because they seemed to be cultivating some exercises together, if they were forcibly separated, it would make the situation worse, so Chen Shang asked them for their opinions first. Seeing them all blinked, Chen Shang began to forcefully separate them who were hugging each other tightly. What surprised Chen Shang was that their bones seemed to be completely stiff, both of their arms were tightly hugging each other's bodies, and there was still a lot of energy flowing. Meidian Yao and Guoling Shay, the power in their bodies, as well as the strength and soul of their bodies, are far stronger than Chen Shang, so it is very difficult for Chen Shang to deal with them. Fortunately, Chen Shang was working on the Divine Mirror of Six Paths, and he could use the power of the Divine Mirror of Six Paths to force them apart. Then take a closer look at their bodies. Chen Shang found that the position of their hearts was glowing red, as if the hearts were glowing and hot. Every time their hearts beat, bursts of red electric light would burst out, and this faint electric light was flowing in their bodies, which seemed to be the cause of their unbearable pain. Then, in the depths of their souls, there is also a mass of red light that fluctuates at the same frequency as the heart. What the asterisk is this? Chen Shang frowned, but the two women could only endure the pain now, unable to make a sound at all, and their throats seemed to be controlled by energy. In such a situation, Chen Shang could only use the old method, that is, to guide that energy out. Sister Mei, your body is relatively strong, I'll give you a try first. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he put his hand on the position of her heart, and then activated the devouring magic art, trying to inhale that energy into his body. However, after he tried it for a while, it didn't work at all. The two women definitely knew what the situation was, but they couldn't communicate with each other at all, so Chen Shang could only try it himself. No, Miss Guo's body is withering. Chen Shang looked at Guoling Shay, and suddenly saw that her snow-white skin was a little dry, and there were some wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, Meidian Yao let out a choked cry, as if he was crying, and he was crying very sadly. Brother, use Suzaku tenderness. Sister Xiaojing suddenly said. Their physical conditions, their hearts have gone wrong. Your idea of consuming that energy is right, but their hearts have a strong ego. Protection ability, can resist swallowing. Chen Shang immediately understood, and then took out the vermilion sparrow tenderness silk and the world-defying divine stove. Suzaku tenderness became very powerful after integrating into the world-defining Taoist species, and it had easily penetrated the dark ancestral source before. And now it's as small as a hair, and it's easy to pierce Guoling Shui's heart. One end of vermilion bird's tender silk pierced into Guoling Shui's heart, and the other end was connected to the godly furnace. Because Chen Zhang's magical weapon was often sacrificed by little sister Xiaojing together, so they were very compatible with each other. The world-defying divine furnace had a strong ability to swallow and absorb, but now with the cooperation of Suzaku tenderness, the mysterious red energy in Guoling Shui's heart can be sucked away without Chen Shang at all. Girl Jing, that kind of energy is very strange, will the world-defying divine furnace be okay? Chen Shang was a little worried. Brother, the world-proud divine furnace can make world-proud Tao seeds and world-proud ancestors. What kind of energy have you never seen before? I'm not afraid of things like dark ancestors, let alone these. Sister Xiaojing said with a smile. Chen Shang is also more at ease now. As Chen Shang drained the energy from Guoling Shui's heart, the signs of Guoling Shui's body aging also disappeared, and soon recovered. The skin was as delicate and smooth as before. Because the situation is very special now, Chen Shang can't put clothes on them, or else he won't be able to see the changes in their bodies. Guoling Shui's situation has eased a lot, but it has not been completely resolved. After the biggest source of pain from her body disappeared, she was already exhausted. She looked at Chen Shang with gratitude in her eyes, and then looked at Madian Yao with great concern, sighed. Finally, she closed her tired eyes and passed out. Chen Shang understood what she meant. Her situation is much better now, she can go to rescue the charming heavenly demon first. Like before, Chen Shang stabbed the vermilion bird tenderness into the heart of the charming heavenly demon, and extracted that red energy. It's dangerous. Chen Shang wiped the sweat from his forehead, looked at the two peerless beauties lying on the bed, and had no other thoughts in his heart. It just felt a little scary. If I had no other way just now, their jade-like bodies would have become as thin as mummified corpses. Guo Lingshe and Madian Yao are only temporarily out of danger, but there are still other conditions in their bodies. The flowing energy is still fluctuating, and there is still a red energy in the depths of their souls. They shouldn't be as dangerous as before. Sister Xiaojing said. Brother, what did they do? They almost tossed themselves to death, what a mess. I don't know, I can only wait for them to wake up. Chen Shang shook his head, then looked around and found a black booklet on the ground. Chen Shang is very sure that there is no such booklet on the ground just now, it seems that it suddenly appeared here. Brother, this thing is very problematic, you have to be careful. Sister Xiaojing reminded Chen Shang. Chen Shang walked over and saw the words, Devil Heart and Heavenly Soul Art, written on the cover of the booklet. He was about to pick it up, but he didn't know that the booklet actually flew up and hit him on the head. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4899, Insidious Xuanzu. What the hell? Chen Shang was taken aback, he didn't have time to dodge, his head was hit by this side of the practice. For a moment, his soul seemed to be flooded with a very powerful energy, but this feeling soon disappeared. Just now, his fate that transformed into the heavenly jade star territory had a very strong reaction, and the energy was ejected, so he was not invaded by that energy into his soul and body. The booklet fell on the ground, Chen Shang wanted to pick it up, the booklet flew up again, trying to avoid Chen Shang. Don't run. Chen Shang immediately used his powerful divine sense to control the booklet. I don't know if it's because of his fate, this booklet was tamed by him at once. After his fate has been transformed into the form of the heavenly jade star territory, plus he is in the heavenly jade star territory, it is equivalent to his domain, so the booklet is still very afraid of him. Chen Shang got this booklet. Devil Heart Heavenly Soul Art. Chen Shang frowned, and then looked at the charming heavenly demon on the bed. Under her jade-white skin, was there a wave of red electric current, and the words, Devil Heart Heavenly Soul Art, on the booklet were also red, and they were always in red, flashing. The flickering frequency of the words on the booklet is the same as the surging frequency of the red current in Madian Yao and Guo Lingshe. It starts again. Chen Shang took a breath, the current in the bodies of Madian Yao and Guo Lingshe had decreased just now, but now it seems to have suddenly increased. He's very sure, it must have a lot to do with this booklet. Brother, there's something wrong with this booklet. Sister Xiaojing said. It may be the source of their cultivation mistakes, you can check carefully, if anything happens, I'm here. Yeah, Chen Shang immediately released his consciousness and entered this booklet. When I opened it, there were many messy lines, like a messy current flashing on the page, and there was no content at all. But as Chen Shang soaked in his divine consciousness, he gradually received some content, and even heard voices. It is a very messy scream, and the content is all kinds of messy memory fragments, mainly some black shadows fighting each other. Is this really the Demon Heart Heavenly Soul Art? Why can't I understand it? Chen Shang could only continue to investigate. Not long after, the booklet suddenly trembled again, trying to break free from Chen Zhang's hand, but was pinched by Chen Shang vigorously. Good guy, this thing seems to have its own consciousness. Chen Shang snorted. He continued to investigate, but there was still nothing to gain. He was still looking forward to seeing what the Demon Heart Heavenly Soul Art was like, but now he couldn't see anything, which made him very disappointed. At this time, Madian Yao slowly opened his eyes and saw Chen Shang firmly grasping the booklet in his hand. Ah! The very weak Madian Yao shouted in fear, hurry up and throw that thing away. What is this? Is it the Demon Heart Heavenly Soul Art? Chen Shang hurriedly asked. No, no, this is the exercise that Xuanzu gave me, it's a trap. Madian Yao shouted. Before this booklet, I searched for the souls of my sister and I, and copied all the memories in our souls. If so, it will definitely return to Xuanzu's hands. Ah, then why are there the words Demon Heart Heavenly Soul Art? Chen Shang was also very surprised, he didn't expect it to be such a thing. It should be trying to deceive you. This thing is very cunning. It must be trapped in this small palace. Mei Tianyao was very anxious, and said, just think of a way, don't let it copy your memory. Meaning, you want to destroy this thing. Chen Shang frowned and said, the memories of you and Miss Guo are very important. If Xuanzu gets it, the consequences will be disastrous, especially your demon heart, heavenly soul art, and Miss Guo. The Yaoshan divine art mastered cannot fall into the hands of Xuanzu. Yes, destroy it quickly. Mei Tianyao was relieved to see that Chen Shang was able to suppress this booklet. She couldn't understand, her and Guoling Shui's soul and cultivation were much stronger than Chen Zhang's in all aspects, why they were no match for this booklet, but Chen Shang easily suppressed it. Chen Shang took out the world-defying divine stove, threw this booklet in, and then handed it to Sister Xiaojing. Here, he is still a little selfish, because he also wants to know the content of the demon heart heavenly soul art and Yaoshan divine art. If Sister Xiaojing goes well, he can tame that booklet and then obtain these two divine art. Even if he doesn't go to practice, there's no harm in getting to know it. It's been fixed by me, it should be fine now. Chen Shang smiled and said, Sister Mei, how are you and Miss Guo now? At this time, Mei Tianyao realized that she and Guoling Shui were still undressed, but their situation had not improved, so she was also very embarrassed, so she could only use the strength she had just recovered to turn over and hug Guoling Shui tightly. Chen Shang saw so much. Humph. Seeing Chen Shang staring at them, Mei Tianyao was very displeased and snorted softly. But she couldn't say anything, if it wasn't for Chen Zhang's shot just now, she and Guoling Shui would be doomed. Come on, I'll cover you all. Chen Shang took out 2 cloaks and threw them over. Thank you. Mei Tianyao sighed softly and said, it's all my fault, it's hurting senior sister. Your situation hasn't improved yet. You still have that kind of thing inside your soul. Chen Shang said, that should be a kind of soul contract power refined by Xuanzu. That's right, it's a contract. I'm too naive. Mei Tianyao was full of self-blame, her beautiful eyes looked at Guoling Shui sleeping with tears, showing that she was very guilty at the moment. The book Xuanzu gave me said that he majored in the exercises, and it is the same level as Yaoshan Shenggong. But you need to cooperate with Yaoshan Shenggong to practice. Mei Tianyao wiped away her tears and continued. When we practiced the exercises in Xuanzu's booklet, we were led to sign a soul-blood contract, and now it seems that it is very difficult for us to break it, and we will become Xuanzu's servants in this life. This Xuanzu has a lot of tricks. It's too sinister. Chen Shang shook his head and sighed, and said, you guys are indeed too naive. It was my fault. Mei Tianyao sobbed softly, tears streaming down her cheeks, and then clenched Guoling Shui's hand. After a while, she burst into tears. Stop crying. Chen Shang could only comfort him quickly, and said, no matter how sad you cry, it's useless. Senior sister and I are completely finished. We will become the slaves of Xuanzu, and the blood pact in our souls is calling us to go to Xuanzu's side, otherwise we will die in pain. It's easy, wouldn't it be enough to remove the contract mark in your souls? Chen Shang said. You said it easily, but this is Xuanzu's method, how can it be so easy to get rid of? Mei Tianyao's tearful eyes were empty and desperate, and he shook his head again and again. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4900, Tianlian Ancestral Soul. In Mei Tianyao's view, with her powerful soul, she couldn't remove the contract mark, and Chen Shang couldn't even do it. Don't be discouraged, let me try it first. Chen Shang patted Mei Tianyao's shoulder and said, Sister Mei, you have to believe in my strength. Although my cultivation is not high, I can't beat you in a fight, but I am very strong in other aspects, such as alchemy. It's useless, senior sister and I are finished. Mei Tianyao shook her head in despair. She thought that Chen Shang could help them before, but as she learned more about the imprint of the soul contract, she gradually became desperate. Because she is very sure that the contract imprint is composed of a strand of Xuanzu's soul, which is very powerful. That is a strand of Xuanzu's soul. Although it is only a strand, it is extremely powerful, far surpassing our souls. Besides, this is a contract, embedded in the lifeline of our souls. Stand up. I already have a solution. Chen Shang said. It depends on whether you are willing to try, and there is still a lot of risk. Chen Shang does have a way, but there is no guarantee that he will succeed, and there will even be great risks. What can I do? The despairing charming heavenly demon looked at Chen Shang with tears in his eyes. His appearance was so pitiful that Chen Shang couldn't help but want to hold her in his arms. You should know that I have a very powerful alchemy furnace. Chen Shang said. My solution is to put your souls into my furnace, and then try to refine Xuanzu's contract imprint. Well, there must be risks, and the process will not be easy. Especially for your souls. Is it really possible? Madian Yao didn't know how to do it, because she had never heard of this method. In fact, Chen Shang often used this method before, that is, by refining pills to remove certain impurities. When he was refining the souls of Mei Tianyao and Guo Lingshe, as long as he accurately locked the contract imprint formed by Xuanzu's soul, and then regarded it as impurity, he could refine it. Chen Zhang's many years of alchemy career often required extremely delicate operations, so he was still very confident about it. Anyway, there is no other way, try it. Chen Shang said. If it succeeds, you will be able to escape. Try it now. Madian Yao nodded in agreement and said, let me do it first. If you fail, you will die. You will find another way to help senior sister. Okay. Chen Shang released the world-defying divine stove. Just now, Sister Xiaojing took out the booklet from the world-defying divine furnace, because it had already been refined by the world-defying divine furnace. There must be Xuanzu's soul power in the booklet. Since it can be refined by the godly furnace, it is not a big problem to refine Xuanzu's soul contract imprint. Of course, Chen Shang didn't tell Charming Heavenly Demon about this. After all, the booklet contained the exercises that Charming Heavenly Demon and Guo Lingshe mastered, lest they think too much. The Charming Heavenly Demon released his soul and entered the world-defying divine furnace with Chen Zhang's guidance. Sister Mei, the process will definitely hurt, you have to be patient. Chen Shang said. Let's start. Madian Yao is not afraid. As long as she can escape this catastrophe, she is not afraid of any pain. Chen Shang started immediately. The imprint of the profound ancestor contract inside the soul of the charming demon is still very obvious, it is a red light. After Chen Shang was locked, he started to run the heaven refinement technique, and the flame he released was also relatively mild, a miraculous cold fire aimed at the soul. It didn't take long for Madian Yao's soul to tremble, and it was already painful, but she could endure it. How do you feel now? Chen Shang asked. It's alright, it's better than before. Madian Yao's soul can still make a sound, indicating that the problem is not big. You must know that she and Guo Lingshe were in so much pain that she couldn't communicate with Chen Shang with her divine sense. After an hour passed, the effect appeared. That group of red light is a little smaller, as long as time goes by, it will definitely be completely refined. Charming Heavenly Monster can also feel that the power of the contract is weakening. She also secretly admired Chen Zhang's alchemy technique. Not only can it be used for alchemy, but it can also be used for this kind of thing. After more than 10 hours passed, Xuanzu's soul imprint was completely refined, and Madian Yao didn't endure much pain. She is now fully recovered. After Chen Shang put her soul back into her body, she was so excited that she hurriedly tore off the cloak covering her body, looked at her body carefully, and didn't see that kind of red electric current moving. It's all right, Chen Shang laughed, admiring the beautiful charming heavenly demon in front of him. Humph. Seeing Chen Zhang smile, charming Tian Yao quickly took out his clothes and put them on. Cough cough, Miss Guo hasn't woken up yet. Chen Shang said. Her situation should be similar to yours, right? Yeah, Madian Yao nodded, and then stroked Guo Lingshui's cheek, as if using his soul power to awaken Guo Lingshe. Sure enough, after a while, Guo Lingshe opened her eyes, and she also knew what she and charming Tianyao had experienced before. So she was very grateful to Chen Shang. Charming Tianyao immediately told Guo Lingshe that Chen Shang could take out Xuanzu's contract imprint, which made Guo Lingshe extremely happy. Afterwards, Chen Shang helped Guo Lingshe to remove the contract imprint. Guo Lingshe, who had fully recovered, hugged the charming heavenly demon tightly. The relationship between the two seemed to have deepened a lot, which made Chen Shang look strange. So, you have tossed for so long before, and your strength has not improved at all? Chen Shang asked. There are still some. I passed the demon heart heavenly soul art to senior sister. Madian Yao said, and then I started to practice Yaoshan divine art myself. But you still haven't become stronger. Chen Shang said. Mr. Shen, thank you very much this time. I heard from my sister that you need a lot of ancestral sources for the creation of the world. My sister and I will definitely do our best to help you. Guo Lingshe said. Okay, let's go now. Chen Shang didn't want to wait that long, worried that there would be other changes. After all, there is an Emperor Guiyuan over in Yishan. If this guy is also eyeing the ancestral origin of other universes and is taken away by him in advance, it will be even more difficult for Chen Shang to obtain the ancestral origin of creation. Charming Tian Yao put away her small palace. Chen Shang also shrank the divine mirror of 6 paths, and then went to contact Tian Jia Yuling. Tianshuan Yuling said before that Chen Shang can be quickly transported to the otherworldly universe with the ancestral source of creation, and directly arrive near the ancestral source of creation, so that the ancestral source of creation can be easily and quickly collected. Before setting off, Chen Shang contacted Guan Yiyu and made sure there was nothing else, so he set off with confidence. Go to Wanzhou Mountain first. Tianshuan Yuling said to Chen Shang, Wanzhou Mountain is the closest, and my support is also convenient. Okay, let's go. Chen Shang now had a relaxed smile on his face. This time, with Guo Lingshe joining in and 2 powerful tools, he didn't really need him to fight.